9 o'clock, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the minutes for the agenda is approve the minutes of August 5th, 2024 as written. I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. No miscellaneous motions this morning. But I
Did
see.
you guys do the coffee can last week? You know? Or is it on the minute? The coffee can network core switch?
Yes. Yes, Brad brought it in to us.
Okay.
Is
That's
that-
fine.
That's coffee can,
Oh,
48,000.
okay, yep, you did it. Okay,
Yep.
this is done. All right.
Yep, I moved. McCurry seconded on that one.
I just had this here and I thought, are we doing something different? Or, okay, yeah, we're good.
All right. River City, you're up.
Quick summer of it.
Happy
Got to go.
Hey, 9:01. We're on time.
Make it short and sweet, I got a meeting to attend. Today showing up, we've got the exterior metal framer showing up, Higgins Group. Ongoing yet, they're doing masonry back in the booking and intake area. They'll start exterior walls back there on Wednesday, starting on Wednesday. Masonry walls in the kitchen start today or tomorrow. Just depends on how they get in the booking area. Ongoing steel erection, they're setting roof frames on sequence 2. They're done setting roof joists and all the roof frames on sequence 3 and 4. They're going to start roof decking that today. Other than that, I think the roofer's scheduled September 17th. I had a meeting with them last week, so they're going to be about 20 days early getting it under roof. So the way it's looking now, we're running pretty good on schedule-wise. So just pray for good weather and until we get it under roof, and everything should be looking pretty good. So.
Yep.
Did you have a straight truck deliver out there just right around 8 o'clock?
That's our metal stud. That's the exterior metal stud.
So there was a semi out in front, and then there's a straight truck with a boom on it. Is he still out there?
They're moved. They're out by.
Well, he blew the stop sign down.
He did?
Didn't even let off.
Is that right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was going to chase him down.
I saw you standing on the corner. I'd
Yeah.
been staring at him. I just.
I was debating on walking down there and confronting the individual, but
Yeah.
I figured I would.
I'll let him know. I got a meeting. Like I said, we've got a meeting about some door hardware stuff at 9. But I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be doing several deliveries out here. So.
Yeah,
I'll make sure.
I pulled out
He's
from the
aware.
south and went east to park on the south side of the street over here.
Oh, is that right?
And just as I went through, he just blasted right on through the stop sign.
All right.
You know, so
Probably looking at where he's going and not looking at the sign.
probably looking
Right.
at his telephone would be my guess. But
That happens more than not. I got stuck in Olathe this morning for 45 minutes probably because of that.
Yeah, I was
3-car pile up.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was in the east. I was around 169. There was semi and 3 or 4 cars piled up on 435 West.
Yep, that's where this was on
That's
435, and I'm like, just what I wanted on Monday.
I was sitting there too. I left
So-
Sedalia at 5 o'clock this morning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I left the house at 20 after 3.
Mm.
So those are my Monday morning.
Yeah. I think I'd pick a different route than 435 every Monday morning.
I'd rather take 50 on here than hit 70.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what you're gonna hit on 70.
Yeah, I agree.
But you guys got any questions for me on progress wise?
You take all the concrete blocks that's out there in the kitchen area and the exposed area that where people can see, will those blocks be painted to dress them up? Or
Yes.
is it-
Yeah, they'll all have paint on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kinda curious if they were, certainly make it look a little more aggressive, or a little better.
Oh yeah, once we get done, once the building gets on and everything's dried in, we'll have the painter come in and he'll put a layer or a coat of block fill on, and then he'll have a finish coat on top of that.
Okay.
So yeah, they'll all be coated with
Okay.
paint. So
I think that's best of it is, so.
yep.
I wish you would, I know that. You guys are doing a great job.
Coming along,
Yep, it is.
so,
It's expensive, but it looks nice, and it should look nice for what it costs.
yeah.
You've really got some good crews out there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, they get
We-
work done.
Yeah, we've really got some good subcontractors out there for sure.
It just looks like.
Yeah, yeah. They work good together. So far, we've been lucky. Everybody's, it's a tight site, as you can see. There's only,
Everybody plays well together so far?
so far, you get more and more involved, and tensions start getting a little high, but we try to coordinate the best we can, and to try to keep everybody to get along out there, so.
Yeah.
But so far, so good, like I said, and.
I still can't believe they get heavy sweatshirts and hats and stuff fit behind their neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
That's part of it.
oh, yeah. Anything else?
Appreciate the update.
You bet.
Thank
Yeah, like I said, I kind of switched the look-aheads up a little bit, going back to our old Excel spreadsheet. It's kind of easier to follow, in my opinion. You can kind of mark off the days as it goes down. So you got your calendar days up on the top. Like today's the 12th, and you can see what we've got. Where I got X's is starts and finishes per calendar days, and then if it runs out on the far right side, I don't really have an end date, but that's the ongoing. It'll be going through those dates. So
Okay.
hopefully it's a little easier to track. And then, like I said, that packet I gave you all there, that's our monthly update, our call-ins. So it's got some progress pictures on there and our change order log and other things on there. So I think Cole's been giving you guys that once a month or,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So that kind of explains where we're at on the project and what's going on. So if you guys got any questions with that, feel free to ask us, or if you want us to change something up, let us know. So,
Okay.
but other than that, I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yep,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Yep, you too.
Some of this we have to do. Look at that later, most information.
We've got a few minutes before our 9:15 Burlington Senior Center open house presentation, I guess.
Yeah, rain up there at Tall City.
No, just a sprinkle.
Had pretty good hopes on it.
Well, they just pushed it off till tonight, now I think.
I thought there last night, and it got heavy, got humid, I thought,
Yeah.
this could really brew something up maybe.
They just,
Didn't materialize.
special issues. that a new senior center, or is that? I would be lying if I said anything.
I'll just got a discussion on the old one, I imagine.
It says open house.
Yeah, they're having an open house. I think they're wanting to come invite you guys to or something. I don't know.
Cause it's still,
Yeah,
it's the
Still
same
done.
place, yeah.
I think it's, I was in it here several months ago, of course, you can't tell just by them being in it, but it looked like it's pretty good shape, yeah. They do a noon meal there almost every day.
I think it's.
I believe they have changed the leadership or something, probably.
We have not moved to approve, we haven't moved to approve the 1,075,806. Have we?
Wade will go through that for us.
Okay, so we don't need to sign it yet?
No.
I think
he goes
through that, at the end of the. Yeah.
Yeah, got two or three change orders.
Okay, so he asked us to write the check, have it ready.
Okay.
There's three change orders that,
So go ahead and do it, and then you still can hold it. Is that
Yeah,
what you
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can sign, I guess you could initial those.
We can
I'm not
always
gonna sign
pull it
the
and
check.
void it if we need to.
I'm not gonna sign the check until we go discuss it.
steal some of these.
Sure, you bet.
How's Tom doing? Have you talked to him? You know, I haven't talked to Jeremy for a few days, but he was improving, but I think he's having problems maybe with his kidneys, I don't know, retaining some water, fluids. Mr. Cole, how are you?
Great. You guys?
Peachy?
Outstanding.
Only way to have it.
Half here with frog in water.
Depends on the temperature.
Yeah. It's boiling. It's boiling right now. So anyway.
I saw that, it's right in the middle of it. Way to go.
Good remodel, it fit perfectly, like it's meant to be.
All goes in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything's in the yellow, everything.
Oh, but it's Kevin Feige. It's really run by people.
Well, I mean, the other one, just the outstanding water. Because that was a lot. Almost 2 pages, 3 pages.
One and two-thirds of it.
There was some on the back.
But interpreter for an hour for $24, I'm surprised they don't have a minimum or something.
Yeah.
Call them out.
28 minutes.
Burlington Senior Center is a minute late.
If you want me to talk, I can talk.
Come on up, they're late, so.
We'll switch places, so
We'll do the old switcheroo.
I hear footsteps. So, September 12th, 1 o'clock, basement. Tax sale,
What's up, when?
September 12th.
September 12th. Okay.
1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Have,
Do I need to print this off? I'll make copies and bring it back.
How many do you?
It's 11 properties with over $32,000 in taxes, interest, and fees. That's not counting September 12th,
12th,
Thursday.
sorry.
It's all right. If you're gonna get a paper, why write it down?
They can still,
September 12th,
they can still pay their taxes between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
You've had, it was 14, I think, in the paper.
There were 16,
16?
because we had the burned out property of Rolla.
Is that like every 3 years? I mean, is this a 3-year thing?
It is for us. Well, actually it was 3 from, well, we're gonna do it every 2 years, to tell the truth.
Okay. No,
That will keep people paid.
right. Well, you gotta stay on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a shame you gotta go through threatening to sell their property before they come in and pay their taxes.
True story.
So,
So the biggest question I have is, what do we do about the 2024 taxes on these 11 properties? Because the sale is September 12th. They won't collect possession of it until probably January. So they will not have owned it any during
so it
24.
goes back to the original owner.
And yet, because the tax sale covers 20 to 23. So there's 1 year in limbo, because we don't have a bill yet to attach to it. So the attorney said, yeah, that goes back on the property still, and those people are paying for it. Well, one of two things, either the bids are gonna come in a lot lower, because they don't know what the taxes are, or they're just gonna be hacked off at me, because they didn't know that that's where it was.
Good question.
How many dollars talking about?
4,500-ish.
4,500?
There are 3 houses, I believe, included in this. Lots of dirt and trailers that need torn down.
And you can't assess it to the owner at the moment.
Yeah, because we don't have a bill yet. And they'll be sold before the bill's made, and they don't take possession until, like I said, 2025.
Can you estimate?
There's nothing to attach it to.
So what do we have to do, just write that off,
So you
basically?
could abate it.
Huh?
You could abate it,
Yeah,
$4,500.
I don't see that it's a very good
Pretty-
option otherwise. Is there really?
No, there's no
It's not.
option, and it's,
Yeah, because you got a person buying it, they didn't know it, they shouldn't be paying it.
I mean, they'll be told downstairs, and like I said, well, we don't know what the taxes are, so they're not gonna pay as much.
so with that being said, the bids would come in lower just based on that.
Right. So
So it'd be easier,
it's almost a wash.
I was going to say it'd be a wash, or close to it, I assume, if you
Mhm.
abated.
Right.
That's probably the thing to do, I would think.
Yeah.
Make it a lot simpler. Everybody takes title to,
Mm-hmm.
you're not trying to squabble,
And
trying to get that out
start
of
with the
previous owner.
Nickel and diamond people. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
I suppose we ought to have a motion drawn up to
Well, that'll be,
later on come in and do a motion to abate it on them properties.
Richard, you said approximately $4,500, I mean, your estimation.
Okay.
right.
And that's not figured into your total
Mhm.
tax on it.
No. There, that 32,000, well, there's
half a dozen of the properties have weed from years past. So the taxes are probably only $28,000, probably $4,000 with weed fees.
And that's how many houses did you say?
I think there's 3 houses, but it's 11 properties,
11 properties.
which, like I said, I'll go copy this and bring it back.
Okay.
And then the other part, SSM, the docs that we signed, documents, it actually gave authority for Walker to write checks and send wires out of the county account. Anybody see a problem with that? Besides the fact it's a county account, it's my money. Mine. Being in charge, so anyway, Walker and I and Emily, as well as Tanya, Angie, we didn't like that idea. So
Right.
we determined, he said, I don't want that responsibility, so we're just going to not let him do that, which he said, I don't want to do it. So the process was, I verify all the expenses on our $3.5 million to make sure that work's being done, everything's the way it's supposed to be. It's for the property as opposed to, insides or consulting fees or something, hard costs. We send those to Walker. Walker says, okay, yep, I agree. He doesn't have any bearing in this. He's basically the middle guy. Goes to Security Bank, which they talked about before. Greg did, adding somebody else to the mix. They will verify with all of the avenues, what are there, 5 different funding vehicles between the loans, red leg loans, the bonds, grants, and then they'll say, okay, it's fine to pay it, we'll bring it back. Payables will then send out checks.
Got a lot of steps to go through just to get a check out, but
Yes.
to verify that it's being spent properly is very
Right.
important as well.
Yeah.
Because they can get the funding pulled.
Want it to be done properly.
Right. And so anyway, Joe wasn't happy with that, but it's not Joe's checkbook.
Yeah.
There's a $4,500 voucher here.
Yeah, I submitted all those. There are several different people included in that. Yeah, that's all the closing expenses, filing things going to the state, Joe's company's a lot of that. Any other questions?
Good catch.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, we were just going through it and said, wait a minute, who's actually paying this?
Yeah.
It says I am.
Thank
Joe
you,
said,
Richard.
yeah, you betcha.
Thank you.
I'll get a copy.
Stay with the senior center. Burlington Senior Center, you're up. You was running a little behind, so we got the treasure out of the way.
Oh, got the money out of the way. I should have been
Well.
down to him. Okay, well, here, we'll just start off with this here and give me a chance to quit shaking like a leaf in the windstorm.
Thank you.
Good morning. Well, I'm Mark Water Street. I'm the new president of the Burlington Senior Center. I moved here in December after retiring, and I think I've been working more since I retired.
I hear that from a lot of people.
It's, well, when you go to work, you work 8 hours in one place or something like that, and you come home. You retire, you just go. There's gonna be something I'm doing wrong. Anyway. So as I said, I'm the new president of the Burlington Senior Center, and we're trying and in the process of doing renovations on it, upgrades, to make it look better instead of just kind of a old building that everybody drives by and doesn't notice. Excuse me. As part of that, we're having an open house on August 17th, this coming Saturday. And we're in the process of working with all the local people that we can get a hold of to have them come in, so to speak, as vendors. And that way they can talk to the people who come in, mainly the senior citizens and the elder people, and tell them what they can provide for them. I talked to the fire department as an example, is that they could schedule half-yearly or yearly visits with the elderly who can't change the batteries in their smoke detectors. Go ahead and set this up, let's get this going for them. Talked to the Council on Aging, and we're working through getting some funding to put out a ramp in the front. We have built the ramp out front, we have painted the inside, we're changing the lighting, and we're gonna try to expand the parking lot on the east side. Yeah. But the idea is try to get people in there, get businesses in there, to talk to people during this open house to find out what they provide for the senior citizens. We're going to have a door prize for when they come in, and we're trying to get away from the nomenclature of senior center. When people say, oh, it's a senior center, I can't go in there until I'm 65 or 70. You can go in there anytime you want. We're trying to get it to a kind of a community center, but at the same time, provide information specifically targeted toward the senior citizens. So if they need to fill out something online and they don't know how to do it, then we can be there to help them, to walk them through. Or kind of a clearinghouse. This is where you need to go. These are the services that you may not know about that are offered in Burlington or Coffee County. So we're trying to get more people in there. We're trying to upgrade the center, trying to get additional people on the governing council, which is a little different than the governing council for a business. The governing council talks about the businesses, and then they pass it down to management, and the management executes it. We are the management. So it's like, okay, we get to talk about it, and I get to go do it. Okay, so we're looking into things that we can do there for the community center, how we can optimize some of the things that we're doing there. I've also noticed when I got here, and I'm not sure exactly if it's the Coffee County website for Canvas or the Burlington website itself, but the senior center is not listed there. And so if somebody goes through and follows all the links, we're not there. So how can the children of a senior person come in and say, oh, well, you can go this, and do that, and look at all this stuff they offer? We're not listed. So I said we're in the process of delivering that information out to the people, the businesses in town, to try to get them in there to participate. The senior center is also available for rent. So you have it all day long. It's got a fully functioning kitchen. Price is $35. You can't beat that anywhere. $35 all day. There's a $35 deposit for the kitchen. If you clean the kitchen, you get the deposit back. And we've already got 3 lined up for this year since I got in there to get people in there. The other thing we're trying to do is start a Toastmasters charter. So we can have a weekly, monthly morning session with Toastmasters. And this is mainly for the business leaders of the community to practice, a lot of salesmen also, to practice their public speaking. Part of that is you start off with a morning roundtable. You got 2 minutes to discuss your topic on whatever is provided out there. You also can do speeches, practice at home, come in there, present it to them. If it's good enough, you can go to state, regional, even national Toastmasters. So we're kind of in the process of getting that set up. We're also looking for other groups in town to come down and use that space instead of always having it at their home. Come on down and set up a bridge club, set up a club to put puzzles together, to play games. We'll play cards twice a week there, Monday evening and Thursday morning, and get other people in there. We're decorating it. So, my wife, sitting back here, came in last week and talked to some people about getting all this and set up this meeting. And I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to provide here today, except information that I'm the new president and we're trying to do upgrades, trying to get the word out that we're now available, operating, to get more people in there instead of just a few that Meals on Wheels uses it every day. So we're trying to get more people in there and do more things with it instead of just being an empty space.
You mentioned a community center. There's not a community center in Burlington has of that name, is there?
No,
And I'm aware.
not that I'm aware of.
Would calling it a community center be a plus?
I think so, yeah.
And who can make that change?
Well, I think the governing body can, but I think we'd have to present it to the
It might
Coffee
be the
County.
city hall, might be the city hall.
Or the city hall, and right, and talk to
Or
them.
city government.
Yeah, I've, went up there, talked to Ann up there for the city council. I don't have any specific time meeting set up for them, but we're gonna stop back by there and see what's going on. Last Thursday evening at the potluck, the mayor showed up, so we talked to him about it and his wife. Very nice people, and talked about other things in our career. I spent 20 years at Intel, kind of on the back end, but, so I didn't get out and do a lot of business meetings or anything. Mine was all prepped for to make sure that the person I worked for would do the stuff for the business meeting. Excuse me one moment. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so like I said, Saturday, if y'all can swing by, we have at 1 to 5 for our open house. And on the second Thursday of every month, from 6 to 8 p.m., we have potluck. You're all invited to come on down there and mingle with some of the people that show up there, and we have live music from 7 to 8.
Sounds very good. I think it would help, you know, like a community building status type deal. A senior center or, something like that would maybe bring a few more people through the door.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but I don't know anything about that.
I don't know either. Like I said, the nomenclature of senior means that, I can't go in there
Right.
because I'm not old enough. We have a young man, probably in his late 20s, who comes in there and plays cards with us.
Mhm.
We need to get more people that come in there like that. Oh, well, hey, we all can get together,
Yeah.
Our model airplane club, we can all come down there. We have 3,500 square feet approximately. They can get in there and do something, Play games, play cards, set up a shuffleboard. Pick your choice.
Sir, I don't hear very well. Is your last name Water Street?
Water Street,
Okay,
that is correct.
thank you.
I am Jim Toy's son-in-law.
Okay.
He was the president after Bill passed away, and my wife volunteered me to be the secretary.
Well, that's the best way to get put in a position.
Yeah,
Somebody
and then
else
he
can help
said,
you.
I'm done, it's yours, so they elected me the president, and I pulled her in, and now she's the secretary.
Okay.
Turn it out, fair play, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That'll teach her.
Well, good, thank you for being involved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your efforts.
Is there a way that they could bring information down on Saturday that the county can provide seniors that we do not know about would be great.
Yeah, so if there's anything that the county provides that me only being here 9 months now is ignorant,
I mean, I don't know about the health department downstairs. I mean,
we have talked to them, we'll have a flyer down there, I'm gonna stop by there next. I do believe they called me, left a voicemail that they're gonna be participating.
good.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
That'd be a good starting place to go from, so yeah.
You said something about Meals on Wheels. Have you invited like the Council of the Aging, the East Kansas Council of the Aging?
Once,
That'd be Leslie Rockers.
yeah, once a quarter, they have their meeting there.
Okay.
The current president, who is stepping down at the end of the year, resides down in Leroy. So right now, we are using them as our conduit for funding.
Okay, I was going to say, they've got a lot of services that that they offer for the elderly.
Right, and that's what we need to get out.
Right.
The information out,
Right.
and also be kind of a clearinghouse for that.
And then another one would be ECAN. I don't know if
I have talked to them briefly. I do have some of their flyers that are out there on the desk, so if somebody comes in, they can pick
because
it
again,
up.
that's another good source
Mhm.
of assistance out there that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Exactly, and so that's where I'm getting, like I said on here, I think I have them all, but hometown healthcare, they're gonna be in there on Saturday to say, okay, this is what we provide. Talked to an insurance lady, she's in Texas that weekend, but she gave me flyers to put out. We're gonna go over and talk to Helen at the salon, so we find out what, she's the only one in town, I think, but, she's pretty busy, so I'm gonna stop by and just let her know what's going on, maybe we can provide information out there. Talk to Hoover's, Ron's really busy, so he can't be there, but he's gonna want us to put out a suggestion. What can we do that people need suggestions for Hoovers? They now have curbside service. So you can order it and they can bring it out to you. So maybe you can't get out of your car because you're wheelchair bound or something, they can deliver it to your car. We're waiting to hear back from police department, fire department, we have to call transportation, see if they can provide some type of information down there also.
Coffee County Transportation would be a good one to have there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. People need, they've shown around.
Right, and they do have through the Council on Aging, a discount for senior citizens. I'm not sure what the cost is, but I've had people who are on the committee actually used them. They had an eye appointment, so they called them to come pick them up, I think it was Emporia, and bring them back home.
A lot of people don't realize they go clear to KCI, Kansas City Airport. They'll go wherever you need them to.
I've seen that, but yeah, I haven't talked to them yet, so we're a little behind the eight ball, but we're
Takes time.
playing the game. Any other questions?
No, I don't have anything. Appreciate your time and good luck with the new push
Mm-hmm.
to get people through the door. And I think having a community center / senior center would be a helpful.
Yeah. And I've
Helpful.
talked a little bit to starters across the street about maybe putting some of their flowers that they have out front across the street also. So it kind of gives more of a visual entrance for people coming in from, I'm trying to get my directions, I should be there, from the east instead of just on one side. So, my father brought me up to know all that for Boy Scouts, and I still can't get it figured out here.
You get him through it, right?
I will.
Yeah, she's from here, so she knows a lot of people too, and they're telling me, well, go here and do this. I'm going,
What's the address?
I put the map on you.
Then on Google.
Now, I'm afraid that if we put the community, which I like the idea, will we lose the funding from the seniors? That's then where do we go from there to get funding to keep the doors open? Which the funding we get is just enough to keep the doors open. Everything else is based off of donation. And so we're trying to get more activities. I just don't know what people want.
Right.
Right.
That'd be something you'd have to bring up with
Right.
the seniors of your organization to see how they would feel.
Okay, so when we say seniors being under 60, I think of somebody 70, 80 years old,
Mm.
right?
The older we get, the more that gets higher up.
But people my age don't realize you can go in and participate. This would give us,
But that's the way it is in any community. I mean, it's not
Right.
just this one, it's like that in any community.
right.
I
So
like-
I've never stepped foot in there before.
I mean, the perception is I'm not gonna go in there, that's for old people. Well, I am old people, but the perception's still there.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure that you're going to be able to change that necessarily.
Unless we change that name.
Well, I'm not sure that that's going to be, in my mind, I'm not sure that that would be a good idea. I guess my thought is that you would keep it as a senior center. And you brought up the point about funding, I mean, that may be a play there. But that's something you could talk about with the Council of the Aging. I mean, because I think you're funded through, I mean, there's funding coming through that for Meals on Wheels and so forth. So that's something that you could check.
Visit with the city council, see what their thoughts
Right.
are.
Yeah, and then eventually, once we get everything set up down here, i.e. on our website, then we'll wanna pull in the one from Garnet and Leroy, so we're all on the same page,
Sure.
offering the same services throughout the whole county.
Sure.
You gotta crawl before you can walk.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Or get kicked down the street.
Yeah. Appreciate your
Just one moment,
presentation.
sir. I have a question. Is there a way, because of the slabs running down 4th Street 75, that there's bumps between all of them, that somebody can come in there and grind those bumps down between the slabs on the main drag?
That would possibly be city unless it's a state,
Yeah.
state sidewalk, so.
No, I'm talking about the road.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, you're talking about the actual road off the sidewalk?
Yeah, I'm talking about the road.
Yeah, well, that'd be a state, so.
Okay.
May the forces be with you.
And maybe it's
Yeah.
not within the city, is it? Do they take care of it within the city?
I don't know, yeah.
State Highway 75. I just, I mean, everything's really nice and got nice streets, and you come on the main drag and you got like railroad tracks everywhere.
Well, those are wake-up bumps.
Oh, okay. Not off on the center. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
we have to see y'all on Saturday.
Thanks for your efforts.
Thank you.
You bet.
I believe it's that Craig Marshall guy, USD 245.
I think you're right. I think
Yep,
you're
there
right. Good morning, good morning.
Craig.
Thanks for a little time, I appreciate it. And again, I want to say thank you for your leadership in the county. The things that you do, obviously, are greatly appreciated. I know you don't always hear the positives and the good things, but really appreciate everything you do to make our county a great county, and you know, the efforts and time and talent that you put into this job. I know it's doesn't always go noticed, but thank you. I appreciate this a lot.
Thank you.
And I want to say thank you. I say people like in Angie's office, Angie, Casey, they are terrific to work with us on tax issues, revenue neutral rate, yes, all sorts of different things. They are so wonderful to work with us and to help us and to get things right. And it's not always easy to do exactly everything you're trying to do, but they're wonderful. You know, the people that you have to work with Bobby Skipper quite often, Barb with the grounds. Your grounds look really, really nice. I mean, she does a one-person job. I mean, she's a dynamo. So a lot of good people that you have working with you in the county and for you in the county. So again, I want to recognize a few of those people. So
I feel the county's truly blessed with all the good help that we've got.
exactly, you guys are, you truly are. Thought I would just come and just kind of give you, hey, we're getting back to school. It's time to go back to school, and it's exciting time here. It's a fun time. Wanted to let you know, and Mark and Katie do a wonderful job in the Republican too. They've helped us kind of share some information that we're at least thinking about considering potential new elementary school. Nothing has been decided, but we're sharing that information. Our board wants to be very public and transparent, much in the same way you guys want to be, obviously, and open and out there. So we're considering. Nothing has been decided, but we're again going through the process of determining what our needs are, because there's some needs that we do have currently, and then there's some potential growth scenarios that will be coming up here in the near future, we hope. I know you guys have been dealing with this for a long time, so hopefully the growth piece will be coming as well. And nothing's been decided, but at least wanted to let you guys know that that's still, kind of on the burner and for, potential future plans. So anyway, our board is continuing to have discussions.
How's your enrollment been over the last 3 years?
It has been fairly steady. It's not major increase or major decrease. And our projection, matter of fact, tonight at our board meeting, we're going to look at, we did have fewer kindergartners coming in this year and more seniors graduating last year. But our enrollment actually is holding pretty steady as far as where we are right now and where we think as compared to last year. There's like a 5, 6, 7 student difference right now is what we're projecting. Now, again, you still have to get them here first day, and then on the September 20th count day that we get to count students. for actual funding purposes. But we're anticipating, we've seen a number of kids come into our community, a number of families come into our community for enrollment. And like I said, where we were having more seniors graduate and fewer kindergartners coming in this year, we kind of added new students coming into the mix to make that gap not as big of a gap. But right now we're anticipating like a 7 difference approximately from last year to this year.
Maintaining, just
Very,
maintaining.
very much so, and we anticipate some growth, we really do, obviously with the Justice Center going up here, you're gonna have more employees here. We know that there's other potential growth areas with secure semiconductor manufacturing, SSM, the CHIPS plant possibilities and things like that. So the project that we're looking at, like I say, is not only just for the growth, but also for some needs that we have potentially, and trying to make the decision, do you add on renovate versus build a new school, and what does that look like financially, and so on and so forth.
If you build another school, would you look at having, moving your child care services within that same building?
And that, yeah, well, actually moving it into the elementary
Move
most
it into the
likely is what we
elementary.
would look at. So kind of talking about the Burlington Early Learning Center, because back in the beginning, you guys did help with some grant money and some ESSER CARES money. Gosh, so many different acronyms, ESSER, CARES, yeah. So having said that, we, right now, we're at about 56 with our enrollment and 40 waiting list.
Wow.
So, if we were to move into a new building, we would look to have, the daycare move into the elementary school, most likely. Would give us more space in place, and then trying to potentially hire additional staff. And we're even considering how we can potentially, expand. We're full space-wise and student-wise, kid-wise, enrollment-wise, at where we currently are. Could we possibly look for an expansion of a room or two somewhere? We're even considering that. Don't know if that will work or make sense, but if we could have 1 or 2 rooms, we could maybe add 15, 20, 25, 30 kids, and maybe cut into that 40 waiting list. And so anyway, so yes.
How many children do you have now? I mean,
About 56 in the daycare right now.
and then 40 on the way.
About 40 on the waiting list. So it's a real, daycare in Kansas is real.
Well, I know it's all over.
It's a desert. It's really a desert. It's very difficult. But you know what? We're able to provide a really good environment, great community service, and that will hopefully maybe help us bring some growth too. If we could maybe even increase some slots, add some slots in the future, that would help for people coming into our community as jobs become more abundant and the need for daycare is there. So anyway.
How's the operating cost, profit? I mean, is it breaking even?
We're really close right now. We have grant money. Yeah, we have grant money that we are continuing. We continue to look for grants because we want to continue to try to increase salaries, increase that pay for our staff, because daycare is sometimes looked at maybe not in the most favorable as far as the financial piece. Well, you're just rocking babies. No, there's a lot more that the staff does with kids. I mean, they're doing a lot. So having said that, we're trying to do more. Like I said, more we can do to try to increase salaries, increase grants. We've increased fees over the time that since we started, and like I say, we have not met resistance with an increase in fees. Because as you can tell, there's a 40 waiting list, and people need, like I say, good quality, high quality daycare where they can send their kids.
So without
to
the
answer your
grants,
question,
without the grants, you wouldn't be breaking even.
no, absolutely not. Because of the things that I say we're trying to do for our staffing and to keep our staffing as consistent as possible, and as we want them to stay, and we want them to continue to be terrific, people to work with our little kids.
And it truly is a learning center.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean,
It's not a quote-unquote daycare, if you will.
No, it's
I
mean, I've got three grandbabies down there that's in there, and I know the little girl really picks stuff up fast.
Oh, I know. They're sponges.
Yeah, they are.
They are so and they're outside a lot. They're doing painting. They're doing creative type things. But yes, it really is. It's just very, very high quality environment. I would want my kids or grandkids to go there. So good comments, good questions, and so I want to give you a positive too in terms of just the construction project, guys. I mean, it's a challenge, obviously, but River City has been terrific. Ryan Backus has been absolutely awesome to work with. Him and I communicate regularly. It's kind of funny. We have a satellite on the top of our elementary school that feeds our internet connectivity over downtown. The crane that was sometimes on this side of the south side of the building here for construction, it got in the way and interrupted our signal. It was kind of strange. Called Ryan. I know. We all of a sudden were like, okay, we've lost internet connectivity. Why? Craig Kuhlman's going a little crazy, and Brad Scheidmeyer, they're trying to figure it out. Well, they figured out it was the crane. I called Ryan. He said, we'll get it moved. And they work around. They just have been terrific. We painted parking lot lines over here last week, and they had the construction workers move out of that area so we could actually do some work in that parking area. Ryan has been terrific to work with. It's a challenge anytime you do construction, but just wanted to let you know that they have been really good to work with. Tom Johnson and others, very, very pleased. Any challenges come up with, we met it head on and dealt with it immediately and handled it well. So one thing you guys might want to, if you haven't been made aware or have been maybe to be thinking about is, I'm going to say the asphalt street area with all the construction, it's taking a pretty good beating. That will probably need to be maybe looked at as you guys go on and after the project is coming to a completion or at the end, that may need to possibly be resurfaced, replaced, whatever the case might be.
That's the one in by the school.
Yes, off of, just south here off of, what is it, 7th Street?
The one-way traffic.
Yes, the one-way traffic, and then out to the east here.
There's some good bumps out here. As soon as you make that U-turn, make that curve, there's some indentions in it that sure jolts the vehicles.
Correct. Again, I don't think it's anything you guys want to do or have looked at now because there's just going to be another year's plus worth of construction. It's going to, if you do any repairs to it, it's going to just probably get beaten up again. But who knows if it's a repair or replacement, whatever.
If there's potholes or holes, the county can come in and throw some. I mean, if it's the county's part, I don't want to get in the city's way, but I'm sure the city would say, well, that's your problem because of construction, and so. And
they've done a little bit, like I say, just a little patch and repair, I think, and it can be done. I think very minimal, but I think long term it may be something you guys will be needing to look at. So anyway,
I'm not too sure that wasn't under a little discussion some time ago.
Yeah,
I think it was under a little discussion because they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Big equipment you guys have out there, and so you knew it was going to take a pounding, and so anyway. Hey, that's all I've got. I'm going to just, any quick questions to get you guys back going through your agenda?
Thanks for
In your elementary school, there's not a room or two or three that you could move into can't think what
The early learning center, yes. That we are looking at the possibility, and we're even looking into a grant or two that could maybe help us expand into a room or two possibly over there. There's some different things we have to look at with licensing and so on and so forth because it would really be two different buildings. But we believe that there is a possibility that could be a case, that could be a potential expansion. So we have some 3 and 4 year olds who go over to our elementary school for their half-day preschool over there. So like maybe, for example, there's a group of kids that start out in the morning at the Early Learning Center, and in the afternoon they go over to that session, and then our staff walk them over, and then our staff come and pick them up and bring them back over to the Early Learning Center. Could we look at maybe 3 and 4 year olds potentially being in the elementary school? Possibly. That's something we're at least thinking about and considering. Nothing definitive yet. But if we could do that, then they don't have to go across. They're just right there. There's some different things we have to look at in terms of, like, say, 2 separate buildings, playground area, stuff like just some different things that we just have to kind of check into. Egress doors, you have to have 2 egress doors in those rooms that we're looking into. We only have 1 currently, but in preschool daycare type scenario, preschool daycare, you have to have 2 egress doors. So some different things, but good comment, good thought. Yeah, hey, you're coming up with ideas.
Taking care of 52 little ones, doing an excellent job, and possibly taking on 40 more. Can you achieve the same excellence
That's what we would want to
With
make
the
sure,
higher numbers.
that's what we want to make sure that we would do. And staffing and employees, as we all know, it's a challenge at times, so we would have to, that's where we're trying to write grants, trying to come up with some different funding sources to be able to try to increase pay, to make it a desirable opportunity for people to have a job and a career, if you will. Because the people over there just absolutely love kids. They love little kids. It's just unfortunate that they can't make millions of dollars doing that work, because they have that $1 million attitude over there and efforts. And so anyway, yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is trying the best we can to try to, how do you make growth happen, but you also want to try to, you know, have a high quality, because again, you just don't want to do something so-so. You want to do it in an excellent manner. So
You don't wanna lose that high quality,
correct.
and that's what Jessica was at.
Yeah. Very good. I could sit here and talk with you all day, guys, but I know you have an agenda. Any other questions? Again, thank you so much for your service. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
See you guys later.
Thanks for the update.
All right, bye-bye.
Anybody wanna roll longer, you wanna need a break? Amelia's here. You feel good? Okay. Amelia, you're up, young lady. Health Department.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. I hate my glasses, so I don't wear them all the time, and then I don't put them on.
So the first item that I'd like to chat about is the notice of award for our renovation for the health department. I do have some printouts for everybody.
Thank you. Phew. Might need a magnifying
Yeah,
glass with my glasses.
I apologize. It just
No, you're fine. Thank you.
kind of printed off upside down.
Need a telescope, that's it. Yeah.
All right.
Good binoculars.
So the first document is the bid form that BG Consultants put together with all the bids that we received. So it has the general contractor name, and then if they provided a bid bond and acknowledged the amendment 1, 2, and 3. The next column is base bid. The column after that is alternate 1, which is install new LED light fixtures, and then alternate 2, install interior wayfinding room signage. And then the last column is the total overall, including both alternate 1 and 2. The second document is the contractor qualification and evaluation form based off of the 2 recommendations that BG Consultants preferred out of all of the bidders. And those 2 were Boat Construction and Decker. So Boat is out of Newton, Kansas, and Decker is out of Coffeyville. The last document is the evaluation of bids and notice of award recommendation from BG Consultants. So just a little bit of an overview. Boats was the lowest bidder, including the alternate 1 and 2, and that brought the total to $387,488 with a start date of September 1. So technically it would be September 3rd, since the first is a Sunday and then the second is a holiday. And then Decker Construction, the start date for them would be October 1st. So that is a month past what we would have liked.
So you said boats was, you said boats total was what?
So with the base bid and alternate 1 and 2, it's $387,488.
Okay, the front page, boats is $389,500.
Oh, I apologize, I was reading the wrong line. $389.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So 389.
With,
And on the back page, it says it's $384.
so the 384 is not including the alternate 1 and 2. Because if you have the, yeah.
Okay.
And then Decker's total was $394,800.
Okay.
I do apologize, that first number I was reading off is what BG Consultants estimated the bids to come in at,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
When did you say Decker could started?
October 1st.
And then votes was,
September 1,
Okay,
but
okay.
technically September 3rd
Right,
is a
right.
weekend and holiday.
right.
So the evaluation form for the contractor's vote scored a 4 out of 4, and Decker scored a 3.943 out of 4 for overall rating.
Basically the same, really.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, I mean, I don't see any reason to not award it to the lowest bidder.
Okay.
I mean, just my personal opinion.
Neither one of them are local, so
Yeah, neither one of them's local, so there's no percentage out, so.
that would appear to me.
I guess we didn't have any local bidders, so.
So we had
Lloyd
one for,
was close, yeah.
yeah. And then we had one for the cabinetry and countertop, but they didn't provide a bond,
Okay.
a bid bond. And that was one of the requirements for the project.
Okay.
Has Wade looked at everything to make sure we're all covered on bonds and everything needs to be?
Yes, so there was a prelim contract wrote up before we put the bid information in the paper that Wade reviewed, and he wanted to verify to make sure that like insurance and bid bonds and all of that was included in on it. So once we have the notice of award, we will review the contract again with the information on who we award the renovation to, and we could still make changes at that point if there's anything that he thinks that needs to be changed or that we've missed with the initial review.
So he's evaluated everything to this point.
Yes. And we'll have a meeting prior to the start date for planning and prep and what we will require.
And did you ever check with this American Relief Fund, CARES Act?
Yes. I don't have the exact number now that we've utilized some of this fund.
Okay. 296, 914 on one, LAT, oh, that's LATS. See, 975, I think. I just wanted to make, I mean, it's been sitting here for a long time, and what better way to use it to update, renovate our station downstairs. Just want to make sure. So you're checking to see what what can be used.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. What's the phone number?
There's fund number 970. Yeah, 296, 914, 58. That was back in June.
Let's see if it changed from July.
I don't know that anything's been paid out of that, I don't think. That's wrong,
We did receive an invoice last week, but it wouldn't have been processed.
Is that what?
so. 290
Okay, so yeah, it's 277 now.
is 277 now. Well, what was paid out of that?
It's 35,000. I can tell you.
277 even?
Nice computer work. Well, we paid BG Consultants 19,000, and we paid, that's in July, and then we paid SCKRPC $15,000. So that.
So that should be all that have to
Yeah.
come out of that fund before the construction starts, I would guess.
I would guess, unless somebody else turns something in to pay.
$11,000, $7,000 difference. Just trying to figure budgetary
Mhm.
stuff.
Absolutely. So for BG Consultants to facilitate the notice of award, do we have to have a motion or anything like that for it? So they'll send out a letter.
I would
For the
say
one.
Wade would probably require a motion, I would think, to facilitate BG's contact and votes construction. You got so much time to get a hold of them and award them, don't you? I don't know what was on the contract. How many days before award notice? I mean, that's here, I mean, it's only been a week so far.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'd be 30 days, I would think 30 days would be.
Well, if it
would
was-
go past 30 days. It could be 15 days, too.
Yeah, but the start date would be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm missing something, Decker Construction's not on this front page.
For the bid tabulation form, they're number 7.
Yeah,
They're in the
Okay,
second from the
I
last.
didn't look that far down since it was mentioned as number 2.
Yeah, so I should have explained that. They put it in the order that they received the bid.
That the bids came.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I guess, I mean, I would make a motion to, get notice to BG Consultants to notify the low bidder votes construction for the construction of the health department renovation for $389,000 and 0 pennies. I'm sorry, that motion. Been moved and seconded, moved by Knight, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion?
Where does it come from?
Well,
What'd you say, Andy?
funds to come from, I mean, we're not 100% sure all of it will come from the CARES Act, is that correct?
Mm-mm. I guess you could say 250 from there, and then
Yeah, 250 from there, from the general.
We don't have any funds set up for this project like we do for some other projects.
No.
We have 0.
Other than the CARES Act. Other than the CARES Act.
And that,
that's it.
and that was a question.
Yes. Angie's suggestion was 250 out of it.
Yeah.
And,
And it can be
and the rest
used.
of it, remaining out of,
general
It can be
fund,
used for that.
capital outlay.
Capital outlay.
From my understanding, yes.
Right, right.
And the
Capital outlay's got 8 in it.
initial
Who you pull it
payment
all
for
out
BG
of.
Consultants came
Well,
from one of our grants as well. Like
with having that name, with
18,000.
having that name in
That's on
there,
there, taken care of
if
from
the
the
CARES
website.
Act deal doesn't come through, then you could still pull, I guess you could still pull the total out of that.
Because that's been in there for quite a while.
McCreary, Mike, the CARES Act,
Yeah.
McCreary
The CARES
seconded.
money's been in there for quite a while.
Mhm.
So this is,
Make sure that sounds
and it's above the non-decker.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and that'd be a good, I mean,
VOGT is, it ain't gonna hurt to pull it down.
The amount was wrong.
The amount is 389 even.
and the,
Just including alternate one and two.
I'm sorry, the 18,000 was, what bill was that?
That was for BG Consultants Architects.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep, yep.
Any further discussion on the motion on the floor? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes.
All right, and I also have some updates for the health department. So the 2024 Kansas Public Health Roadshow has been canceled. That was going to be put on by KDHE. They're going to look at offering it for 2025. They stated that they didn't have many people registered, that the attendance was looking like it was going to be pretty low. So they're going to look at offering that 2025. Next item, the health and environmental health school inspections for the Coffee County School District have been scheduled. I'm going to be pretty transparent on this. There was a House Bill 2754 that was signed by the governor on April 12th and went into effect on July 1st. And that was giving the counties the option to exempt themselves from the sanitary school inspections, the annual school inspections. Just an option. I recommend continuing to do the sanitary inspections. But that was an amendment to KSA 65201. And if we were to exempt ourselves from doing the annual sanitary school inspections, there's a charter resolution process that we can go through if you guys would like to exempt us from school inspections. But
Did you say you prefer not to?
I prefer to continue to do the school inspections.
I agree 100%.
When you do an inspection, what do you look for? I mean, I'm just curious, what?
Yeah, so there's various things that we look for. So it's pretty much just to ensure the health and safety of the students and make sure that the other inspections have been performed.
Okay.
So we look at items, for example, like rodent insects,
Okay.
like how far the vegetation is from the building, and then for like the health side, making sure that like the nurses have plenty of supplies, making sure that they're keeping accurate records, just ensuring that there's not any environmental risks or health risks to the students.
I was just kidding.
Okay.
No,
I can give you a whole lot more
No, no,
information on it.
that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
And then lastly, there is a new approved pneumococcal 21 valent conjugate vaccine. I did talk with Dr. Sloyer on this, and it only covers adults. So this is for the pneumonia vaccine. So we're going to continue to offer the pneumococcal 20 because you can use it for all ages. It's not just specifically for adults. I know that we'll probably have some patients call in requesting if we offer the 21, but we're cost-wise,
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
stop them both.
yeah, we'll stick with the 20. Do you guys have any questions on any of that?
I don't.
Okay.
This is your house, not ours.
Okay, well.
Not touching that.
Yeah, no, what you said? Yeah.
And we have not purchased any of the COVID vaccines for the 2024-2025 season, just because it's not available to purchase yet. But once it is, we will purchase and begin offering it. Right now, they're recommending to purchase small quantities of the 2023-2024, but it's not really going to be effective for 2025 with the formula, so.
Of course, they want to sell the old stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to, as long as you guys are okay with it, not purchase the 2023-2024 formula and wait for the 2024, 2025 to come out.
That's up to you. I think
Okay.
that's your expertise,
Okay.
as far as I'm
Sounds
concerned.
good.
Very good.
How long does it take to get in when you do?
That's a good question. So last year, they were on back order, and it took, I want to say 30 to 60 days. So hopefully, it's not back ordered this year.
Right.
So it might be a plus to even purchase at 23, 24, if you gotta wait 60 days to get 24.
Yeah.
What kind of shelf life on stuff like that? Or is there such a?
So there is such a thing, but from what I have seen, they have updated the formula before the previous is expired, so
Okay.
it's,
Yeah.
I mean, you can continue to use the
Right.
old formula, but it's not gonna cover every strand if there's a new one that.
Seems like you got some unknowns to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then we will begin offering the RSV vaccine. We are having to do some pretty extensive process review on that because it is recommended for pregnant women within a certain time frame. I believe it's between 32 and 36 weeks of gestation. But then if they deliver within 2 weeks after having the RSV vaccine, we will have to immunize the infant with the pediatric version. So it's kind of,
Not good.
yeah. So we are looking at ensuring that we are receiving the proper documentation on the actual gestation because it is very specific on the time frame on when we can give it. Yeah.
Busy?
Yeah. Any questions?
I don't have anything.
Thanks, good job. Thanks for all the help.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Amelia.
All right.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Economic Development, Bobby Skipper, you're up.
Sir, good morning, Commission.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Thank you. I don't have a department update today, but I do have, as you see on the agenda, previous requests for an executive session to discuss trade secrets. But after speaking with the chairman, I'll start off in public discussion, and as the commission decides, you may decide to go into an executive session. But the topic is SSM has completed and finished all of their, signing all their paperwork. They're fully closed. They've received disbursement. They've got all their funding. The next week and a half, they will begin actual deployment. They'll start immediately in construction out at Dream Homes in Lebo. And within another week, they hope that deployment at the airport will begin and dirt will start moving. That's going to have a lot of moving pieces where the commission will interact, especially with the roadway construction. But SSM, they've already hired 3 local people, and they'll begin hiring increasingly more and more in the coming weeks. Their first orders of production are due by the end of the year. One of the big clients they picked up in the last 6 months has set aside a significant amount of money for them to fill an order by the end of the year. So they're already delayed. So they're going to be trying to get those machines turned on in production.
Now, you said they're gonna, excuse, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanna go back on, you said they're gonna start at the Lebo Dream Homes building that EMP Shield owns?
Immediately.
They're leasing. 'Cause I think EMP put some air conditioners or something in that west building, the smaller, shorter building.
Right.
So they're gonna start getting their line set up there to start production.
2 of them.
In the meantime, be building the facility at the airport.
Yes, sir.
And they've already got equipment at the Dream Homes location, correct?
Yes, sir. They've got about 60% of the total equipment they're going to have in already.
In already, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Anyway, good morning.
Morning.
This is putting them in a situation now that they're all of a sudden ready to go. they have not been able to find anywhere to live or even have office space. They'll be able to have some office space in the Lebo building, but part of their dilemma is they've got the airport project in New Strom, they've got the Dream Home in Lebo, and they've also got, we've kind of kept it on the back burner as not a part of the discussion, but they've got a building they're planning to put up at KSMC, the Beto site. And I'll let them elaborate on this more than, but they are leaning on moving forward on that facility regardless of any federal funding under the CHIP Act. Similar to the SSM building, REL can be constructed without any grant funds, is where I'm getting at.
Right.
That's a discussion they'll start having with you pretty quickly. But it puts them in a situation, they've looked at everywhere in Coffee County that makes sense to live, and they just can't find anything. So I'm here to revisit the discussion you were having about the Bailey property. They had originally agreed to lease the home, but there was an alternate tenant that was discussed that, at least as far as I know, hadn't panned out. That would be, so the SSM was proposing the following. They would do it themselves, but they are, Bart had to go back to Kentucky, and next week, Bart and Robert will be here, so you can, but they're not here right now, so they asked me to bring it up. They would like to lease the home, as originally agreed. They'll pay all the bills. They would like an option to purchase, as originally contemplated, within that lease after 1 year. First right of refusal or option to purchase. They'll be okay with either or. They'll pay all the bills. That includes keeping the grass mowed, maintenance for the home, upkeep for the pool, pay all the utilities, and keep the building, all the premises insured. Insurance coverage on everything. And they'll pay a rent. I think Bart had spoken with Jesse. Did he? Okay.
Yeah, I visited with him. Originally, it was like $3,500 a month. The county paid all the bills, and I don't know what the bills, I mean, you got somebody living there. I know the pool bill's $260 every 2 weeks, something like that, $280. But I don't know what the electricity bill or gas bill, I mean, it's propane there. But anyway, I visited with him, and their board had already set a price. But I mean, I tried to go for $2,000. They pay all the bills. He said $1,500. So I'm like, I'm going to have to talk with the board. You know, I said I'm not going to say yes or no or indifferent at this point in time. So it's whatever the board decides. Snow removal is on them, mowing's on them. Myself and my wife's been taking care of the yard, and and the pool guy's been taking care of the pool. So
I just think if we can get somebody in there, for one thing, it's better for the property. And if they're willing to take care of the maintenance and everything like that, that's worth something. Just to get somebody in there.
the house needs lived in, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't wanna, I know it's gonna come off as, well, you might as well just let them live there for free. You know, but I don't know, I kinda thought, for the house, 1,500, do they have access to the barn? You know, that's my only thing, you've got a whole nother area right there, but.
And they're willing to take care of that building.
All of it,
Yeah. So.
They're-
I mean, Mark did say, you know, if we have a major breakdown, you know, water leak or something like that, he said, you know, I'm gonna ask for the county's help on that, you know, the county would be responsible for it.
Well, it would be,
Insurance.
Yeah, have insurance, so I mean,
So they're offering 1,500 rent,
Yes, sir.
and you suggested 2,000.
I tried for two, and they said they had met with the board, their board had met and come up with 1,500 in all bills, so.
All bills are just quite, that's good.
I'm gonna think I figured
You
we'd
have the
probably
same
pay
thing you were.
all bills and maintenance,
Yeah.
yep.
About the 3,500 is what you're thinking. So no price set on the option to buy and no discussion about that.
They assumed, I overheard this discussion, by the way, so I can they assumed that when the county got ready to sell that home to them or anyone else, you're probably gonna get an appraisal on it, I think you already have, but you'll get another one at that time, and they're not asking for anything, any special favors. They understand they'll have to pay market price when the time comes.
Right. Yeah, because we had discussion about including the lake with it, different things, so we'd be, we're definitely not I don't feel at any kind of a figure of what that price would be at this point.
I just think it's important to get somebody in there if it's all possible, and.
We want them to move forward too.
Yeah.
So that's a little dual purpose in my eyes.
They even went to the extent that the word trust was thrown around. They said even if an actual lease takes a few weeks to get agreed to by the attorneys, they're willing to take a handshake agreement so they can start buying furniture and things. I'm not saying they're desperate, but they're at the point they've got to do something now because they.
Yeah.
That property's sitting far enough off the house that there could be vandals in there and they'd never know it for
That's right.
a week or until we get there to mow or something.
Well, anytime a
Like
property.
Steve said, it's so important.
Anytime a property is left and I'm not saying it's not attended to because it is, you guys have been left unattended.
When you're not opening and closing the doors,
It
let
goes
the air in
down,
and out.
it goes down, it goes downhill. I just think
Down
it's,
value and something major.
I just think it's important to get somebody in there.
Winter's coming.
And winter's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, then it's monitored all the time.
Yeah,
Somebody living there.
I'd be, no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
I'm agreeable.
I'm gonna be ridiculed for it no matter what, so it don't matter to me.
I'd be willing to let them write an agreement for what they're proposing.
Well, we haven't seen any yet, ridicule is one thing, we haven't seen any other check writers showing up, so, that's kind of the point,
Well, he said he'd be open at around 11:30 if y'all want to call him
Okay.
and discuss it further.
I
That
guess
was,
we could make a motion later on if everybody is upon agreement.
and that's all I had.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one more thing there. On the 16th, the director of CDBG wants to go on a Zoom call with the county, and Garrett Nordstrom from Gas to discuss the procedure of the grant, just so that the rules are understood and how the money's drawn down. I would prefer, if the commission's okay with it, to have Angie attend that. You're the natural person to understand that, or Richard Kroll, but I think you'd be more fitting if the commission's agreeable with that.
They handle it every day, deal with it every day, well, like it probably wouldn't be bad to have both of them.
Right. That
On
would
the
be my
Zoom.
thought. Sure. That's available, yeah.
On the 16th?
16th.
What
Next
time?
Friday.
Oh,
It'll be before lunch.
okay,
I don't have the exact time.
okay,
It'll be a Zoom.
okay. I might need to talk with you after that then.
Where's it held at, Kansas?
They'll be in no, so they'll be in Topeka, but we can do it by Zoom. We'll probably do it in Angie's office or somebody's office.
Last week I was on my first Zoom meeting with the CHIPS
Yeah.
talk. Wade was on it. You popped in for just a little bit, but everybody's still moving slowly in the back corners. So
That's right. Yes.
it's good that SSM's ready to roll at Levo. So, I had one question, and I don't want to make the company mad at the commission, but 2 years ago, something like that, we purchased EMP protective devices for the county.
Yep.
I know there was a lot installed.
Yes, sir.
I know there was some that was refused by like the hospital. We paid an estimated amount, and I was told once upon a time that there's gonna be a credit coming back to the county. And I did make a phone call last week stating that we need to get this figured out.
Yes.
and get the credit taken care of back from EMP to the county, because I'm thinking it's gonna be fairly substantial.
I agree too.
But 2 years is taking too long.
Bruce, at our request, when that conversation started, you know, people were refusing, and so he started keeping up with a detailed record, and he was providing those to me, but I hadn't gotten one in a while. I think they just filled all the orders they could fill, and you're correct, there was a discussion of a credit, whatever they were not able to install.
I would like to get that. Like I said, I did make a phone call, and I just don't wanna come off as pointing the fingers at EMP. It's partially our fault too for not continuing to push to get the refund back. It was what, 584,000, I don't remember, 564,000 is what the total
Correct.
estimated bill was, I think.
Correct.
And so, we need to get a refund too, if we can.
That
A
makes sense.
portion of that.
A portion of that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, they weren't cheap devices by no means.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I know there was some that was they've had one unit to go here, well, it needed a bigger unit, so they had to make the bigger unit, which was gonna cost more, and so, I don't know if they ever got the bigger units made, I just wanna make sure that we're getting what we're paid for, and if we're not, then we need a refund.
Okay, I'll ask Bruce to provide a report to the commission. He might even show up in person to do it. That's okay.
Back to that Bailey property, you know, if they're agreed to pay the insurance on that property would be $6,000 to $8,000.
Correct.
Would they, I would say they're probably gonna have the renter's
I was
insurance.
gonna say, they'll have the renter's
Be
insurance.
renter's
We'll
insurance.
carry the insurance, won't we?
We'll have to carry
Liability.
We'll have to carry
It's
it.
our problem.
They'll have their renter's insurance, I assume, just,
Yes, sir.
and we have the liability insurance.
Yes, sir. For that property, you are correct. Even the renter's insurance will be what you said.
Yeah.
It won't be cheap.
That's right. That's all I had.
Yes, thanks, Bobby.
Thank y'all.
All right, very good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody need a break? 10-minute break, sorry, Ryan.
That's all right.
Have a seat.
I'm 10 minutes early, so.
We'll come back at 10:42.
We're only off 2 minutes from here.
Steve. All right, 10:42, we're back. Road and Bridge Superintendent, Ron Durst, you're up, sir.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
I don't have a whole lot today. A few discussion points, don't have any motions for a change, so. Just talk about a few things that are going on. So I talked to you guys, a while back about KDOT's gonna be doing that bridge replacement, down there at Leroy in 2025. And so we met with them down there, and they wanted to know about an unofficial detour. So KDOT, they won't detour traffic on our county roads, they'll stay on the state highways, but they understand that, you know, our roads are going to take a beating on this. So this map here is kind of what we've come up with in the office, for the marked detour route, on this. So basically, you can see down there at Leroy, and it's got the bridge, closure there. So, routing traffic, we're gonna try to keep as much as we can on our asphalt roads. So basically, our truck traffic that's coming in on 58, can't get through Leroy, we're gonna send them up Wayside, up 12th Road, and then from there, they could go on over to Burlington if we were just gonna be passing on over to 75, or, you know, the ones that need to go to Leroy are gonna go south, obviously. I know there is a section there right on the north side of Leroy that the road gets pretty narrow, so I'm just trying to deter two-way traffic as much as we can down there just to help with that. One other piece here is on H Road, would kind of be for vehicle traffic and try to encourage them to take that route. That's the one road north of Leroy that has armed crossings for the railroad. So the closest intersections there down by Leroy are just bad intersections, and just the safety side of the railroad crossings is not very good.
We gotta keep people off.
Well, that's you know, this is what we're gonna strive for here. Once the project kicks off, you know, there could be some issues with some of those, bad intersections and bad crossings down there, so there may be something additional we'll have to do down there, but, you know, the idea is not to encourage any traffic on those first couple of roads down there.
That 8th road's gravel.
It's gravel, yep, it's a straight shot through there.
But that's a pretty good road.
It's a pretty good road, it's, you know, 20-plus foot wide, so, I mean, as far as the traffic, you know, we get into the possible damages dealing with the state and kind of what we'd be looking at, so, on that gravel, I've got a request that we'll send in for 4,800 tons of gravel for the 4 miles, so basically you're looking, you know, 2 inches of rock, dust control along that section. There's some detour signage that we got kind of estimated cost of what that would cost us for the signage. And then I believe KDOT has kind of a set price in place for using asphalt roads at $10,000 a mile is my understanding. So we kind of put some numbers together. If you guys are okay with it, you know, we'll send it down and see what they come back with. They've told me their cap is $300,000, but some of these estimates I come up with is $368. So we'll see what they say. If we need to back it off, we can adjust a little bit, but that's just,
So we'll try to get what we can get.
well, that's it. You know, as far as that gravel road, as long as it's in at least current condition at the end of the project is my main goal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, having that dust control on there will help hold that road together.
no, it will.
It will, especially going in, when does it start, 2025, you said?
2025,
It'll be the spring probably.
that would be my guess, but
That'd be a good time to have that dust control on there, to
Yeah.
keep the spring rain from penetrating that road base.
They would talk
a lot better.
at that meeting at Shrewd, I think it was, what, March, April, something like that?
yeah, that's the rough
I mean, that was-
estimated time frame. But I know it hasn't even been let yet, so well, that'll be, you know, depending on the
It's gonna
contractor.
make it go through fall harvest, and it'll be amazing how many semis are gonna cut through on 8.
Well, and that's,
They're not gonna go, that 8 road, it won't be same as it is at the end as it starts.
right. I mean, the best thing we can do is get the signage that we need and just try to encourage people, and if there's stuff that we have to address, you know, down the road to help mitigate or something on that side of it, you know, we will, but.
An extra 8 miles to go on north to 12th and then come back south on Shetland, there's 8 miles of blacktop extra there.
Yeah.
Rough and back.
And I don't think they'll go that route.
Don't you think your local traffic will try to go south? To go around it, farm-wise, Don?
Local traffic,
It's not very good.
no, they can't go south.
You can't go, there's no option to go south there to get to.
They go south is an extra, they gotta go all the way down the county line and go east 3 miles and back north on Planter.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I tell you what, that's not a good road, it's a good road, but it just doesn't make for a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
And it's an extra, 12 or 13 miles to make that trip. That's what we gotta make when the river's out. I gotta go that extra.
I see. So you know that, right?
I know that route very, very well.
So, but yeah, so this is what we come up with. I got Saban, we made a few tweaks, on some of the signage, so he's just gonna review that for us before we submit this to the state. But
Yeah.
that's kinda what we're looking at. If you guys are okay with that, I'll move forward.
I think it looks fine, Ryan, looks good.
Next is, I met with the city council at Levo last week, and we discussed the lake roads, and, they kinda agree we need to have something down, an agreement on who's responsible for what. So kinda like what we had talked about, I think a good option would be for the county to take over their following responsibilities: the snow removal and just routine blading up there. And then anytime we would need to spread gravel or culvert replacements, we would do the work side of that. The city would reimburse any gravel cost up there, any culvert cost. And they currently mow those 2 roads, so they're gonna continue doing that.
Okay.
So, I'd like to move forward and get an agreement in place, just kinda spelling out who's responsible for what. I presume maybe there's something Wade could help write up for us. And I don't know if we need to have a time frame on there. 3 years, 5 years, reevaluate it every so often, make sure that there's nothing we want to change or what we want to do there.
What's your recommendations? Of course, Lebo would have, need to agree to the length.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine with, you know, I don't know. I know we currently have agreements with some cities on our connecting link roads, you know, some around Burlington that states who's responsible for what. And those, I mean, those are just a one-time deal. You know, I think that's fine, because then, you know, that'll never change. And, I mean, if it was something would need to change on that, then you just have to go through the same process and something new in place. But I don't know if it makes sense to make it every 5 years, reevaluate it. And, you know, I suppose things could change in 5 years.
If you had a bunch of other buildings or something.
Yeah, I mean,
on or whatever.
yeah. So I think 5 years would be fine. You know, I know with like some of our utilities, like Four Rivers, you know, we have agreement that every 5 years we go over on as far as line movements for some of our projects and stuff like that, kind of who's responsible for what, so I think that'd be fine.
We got 2 connecting links in Leroy, but I don't know what the length of time is.
I don't think there's any documentation on those.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, a lot of them there's not, it's just,
Be prepared.
yeah.
You're starting something.
But,
And, you know, like I say, everybody complains about the taxes going up, but you're taking on more responsibilities that's in the area that's in the county
yeah.
that's gonna cost the county money.
Yeah, and I forgot to, I pulled some costs on, you know, there's a road right east of there, similar type of road, half-mile, it's a dead end that, you know, have a few houses on it, and, really it's pretty minimal on the amount of maintenance it takes. And
Right, not that much heavy traffic or anything.
no, we drive right by there anyway when we're maintaining it, so there's a little cost involved there, but it's really pretty minimal.
Yeah, I'd like to see the roads kept up. They went in there here several years ago and made several turnarounds in there and did I guess some city did, I don't know if the county did or not, before my time here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a nice area.
No, it's a nice recreation area out there, so.
That sounds good, Brian.
Okay, well, I'll move forward with that.
Sounds agreeable.
The last thing, just a little discussion on some dirt. Excuse me. So last, March, we had this culvert project up by Lebo on the northeast corner there that we had. We had a need for some dirt, and so we located some dirt, the west side of Lebo out by the city lake. Individual from an old project years ago that we had piled up. Landowner had a use for it. The property changed hands. That dirt pile just been sitting there for years, so I approached them. They had really no use for that dirt. So I talked to them about purchasing that dirt and come up with $50 a load. It was just cheap for dirt. It was a couple miles from where we were at there. But we've used that dirt on a couple projects, just looking at making a payment of $2,250 for the 45 loads of dirt that we got out of there. So I just want to have a discussion with you guys when you see that come through, that's what that was for.
Well, that's a lot cheaper than trucking it very far.
Well, that's it, I mean, yeah, we used 36 loads on that culvert, then 9 loads. We did extended out the forest slope there by the west pond there in Lebo. Just get kind of some shoulder on the edge of that road, so it's, I mean, a mile from there, so. But worked out good. That's all I had. Unless you guys have something for me.
The only thing I got, I'd like to go back in your Rolodex about the salt bid. There was 2 salt bids. Knight Trucking was one of them, and I believe Central Salt was the other. And Central Salt come in low bid, and I questioned the type of material that you specifically was asking for. I didn't realize that Central Salt, that I hauled salt out of for 15 years, classified as that kind of salt. They had that kind of salt available. You went back that day or later on that week and confirmed with Central Salt that they did have the type of salt that you was after. Then you come back to us that following Monday, and presented your findings of my questioning of the type of salt. And the award, I believe I made the motion to award Central Salt the low bid on that contract, if I remember the
Yeah, I
game
think-
correctly.
So I think there was a question on, the type salt, the anti-clumping agent, or the type salt that it was.
Yes.
And so I remember, when we were talking about that, you brought that up, and I'd gone back and called the company just to reassure that the bid that we got was for that type of salt, and they said, yes, that's what they bid. And
They had YPS to it, which is an anti-caking agent.
okay, yeah, that's what it was, and then I think the following week I come back, presented that, and you guys made the motion on it.
We had no executive session over the salt bid at all, did we? Anybody recollect?
No,
No.
no, that was all discussed, I remember, I remember being talked about, and Ryan did go back and check with the company to make sure that it was the correct grade or whatever, and it came back, and
Yeah,
that's how it transferred.
I don't know why.
I'm just clearing the air.
I don't know why we would have had an executive session on that, if it wasn't.
Just clearing the air
dealing
out
with
there.
personnel, I mean, I don't. Yeah, okay, whatever,
Anyway, so I just clearing the air,
so.
so.
There was discussion on it, that's for sure. To go back to this, I feel like I maybe need to visit with the co-op a little bit.
Yeah, and
I
that's,
didn't know whether you had visited.
No, I haven't yet,
'Cause I didn't wanna step in your.
no, that was kind of my next step, was to talk with the co-op. And probably I've been talking with Aaron a little bit down there at the city, but maybe if I have to go down for a city council meeting, just kind of update them on what's going on, because it's a big project. So, but yeah, that's my next steps, talk with the co-op and,
I'll just let you visit with Jamie down there.
yeah.
Cause it's gonna go through the harvest, nobody gets.
No, that's right, and so, if we can educate as much as we can on what we would like to see done, that might help.
I'll let you take care of that.
Up on
I'll
the
probably
traffic
sit
side of
council
it.
meeting when you go, but
Yeah, okay.
I go to most of them, I go to all of them.
Yeah.
I'll let you take care of
Yeah,
those.
I'll take these copies back unless you guys need them, you can hold on to them.
You might want them to take to another meeting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save paper.
Right.
Very good.
Thanks for all your updates.
How's the 50 highway, which I know we've had some rain, they still making headway?
Yeah, they're making headway. I don't know, they've got the base rock in for probably 2/3 of that stretch. I'm not for sure this morning that the rain may have impacted them some, but they'll get the rest of that base rock set on that side, and then, they'll come in with the asphalt portion, to bring it up to the existing road height. And so I don't know exactly when they're planning on doing that, but I know they're working asphalt down south between here and Yates Center.
That'll
Believe,
probably be done in a day and a half.
yeah,
I don't know, they're all the way up on the southbound, the northbound. Southbound, I bet they don't have over a mile and a half, 2 miles in a big alley.
okay. Well, I know they were shooting to get kind of that stuff done, and then they got a couple streets here in front of our shop, and then they was gonna jump up there.
Are they once they get the base laid on that, I'm gonna call it westbound side, north side, are they gonna come in and do the asphalt then, or are they gonna wait and do the asphalt all at once?
So they'll do the base asphalt on the shoulder portion,
Okay,
on the extension, and then they'll move to the other side,
okay.
and they'll excavate
Okay.
all that, and then once they have all that asphalt on both sides done, then they'll come in with the petromat.
I'm just trying to think of the harvest time that's coming up,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be on the eastbound side shoulder, south shoulder.
Yeah,
This fall.
Right.
And it's gonna be interrupting harvest along that road.
right,
So if they can get the westbound side, north side done, then they can, fields on that side can approach 50 highway from that way.
right.
Because there's a lot of non-driveways.
No, that's right, and they've been really good at, if there's driveways that,
Right.
the houses, they've gone above and beyond,
Right.
keeping them, passable, but if there's field entrances, I know if somebody says, hey, I need to be able to get in here, they've been pretty accommodating
Yeah.
and working with the landowners.
I'm sure they will. I just wanted to make sure they was gonna go ahead and put the base asphalt
Yeah.
down on the north side of the road.
Yeah.
That way you can access the fields
No,
without,
that's right. That's what-
even, like I say, the old farm trucks, you just pull them off the road down into the ditch and
Yeah,
away you go. But,
Yeah.
right now with that opening, it's kinda hard to do that.
No, that's real hard to do.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't want you coming off the edge of that asphalt anyway, with any
Right.
type of equipment.
No, right,
Yeah.
right, so.
Well, I got,
Okay.
wanna thank you again for helping us with the budget side.
Oh, yeah,
Pulling
absolutely.
that, what, $1.5 million out to try to help the burden of the taxpayers.
Sure, absolutely.
on the bill
I mean,
levy.
that's-
So,
Yeah, we're all trying to keep it low as we can.
we still got,
That's the idea.
I think we're 500,000 off of keeping the bill the way it is, the way it was last year, and I don't know if we can reach that other 500,000, but we're gonna try to squeeze it as much as we can, so. But that's a topic for later day discussion.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Have a good week.
You too. Well, that pesky jail project. I guess we're at roundtable, huh?
Yeah, that involves jail projects for about 3 deals, 4 deals.
Just hand that out. That's not, what I'm handing out isn't everything, but it appears last time that Don especially appreciated what will be included in pages
Thank you.
1 through 5. Breakdown.
I might be able to, once you get through the work.
So that's the cover sheet you normally see. Doesn't have all the applications for payment, but what it does have in page 1 through 5 is sort of the breakdown of description of work completed, what the numbers are. So while you're looking at that, I'll get this up on the screen.
I did notice that, I think maybe somebody moved that camera a little bit. I did watch another video and I could see the TV at the time.
This packet that was passed out too this morning really ties into what you just passed out.
So we had a owner construction manager meeting last week, and I hand those out, and I said, you really ought to think about handing those out every month.
Sure helps with following along.
Yep. And I actually have the one from June, if you want to see the difference between June and July. That's what we have. One for June, just so you can see the difference of what they've handed out.
Yeah, there's a wee bit of a difference.
Yeah. Changed a little, hadn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Looks a little different, doesn't it, Don?
Looks a little different, but already spent $5 million at that point.
Yeah.
We're now, we're 7,
Right.
we're now, we're 7.1.
Yeah. Side, it's a little different.
Yeah, yeah. Big time.
All right. So we'll start with the pay application. And that's the cover sheet of what you have. You'll see page 1 through 5 is exactly what you have with you right now. And then it will have everything that goes with it. So as the motion indicates, this is for the pay period up at the upper right-hand corner, 7/31 of 24. The current pay request is $1,075,806, no pennies. Page 2 through 5, as I just described, and so those who watch online, it's just the spreadsheet that covers cost, what the cost that was agreed to and what's been used and paid out so far. So that's the first 5 pages. Starting on page 7 of 45 of what I have, this is the breakdown of who has requested what. So pay app number 1 within this pay application, Concrete Unlimited, the current payment is the $31,270.50. Before retainage is taken out, it's $34,745, and broken down in this document, what is the cost for $34,745 is for the core of the Sally Port. And if you've been out and you looked at the Sally Port, it's actually a pretty large footprint, and it makes sense. The next one is Wheatland Masonry. Pay app is for a total of $265. With the retainage, it's $238,500. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you go around and look, block labor, $165,000, block material, $100,000. And if you look at all the blocks out there, there's a lot of blocks and a lot of, so that's $265,000. And if you look on the left-hand side, and it'll correspond with the first 5 pages, 200 for block material, for example, 215 has already been paid out from previous applications. The total is 465. Similarly, the labor, 260 has been paid out, and the total there is 728,895. Just in case you're keeping track, or you want to keep track. HME, I thought this one would be a lot higher. This is the steel. The total was $317,900. The retainage is $376,110. So if you look, and these are all my notes.
417,900. You said 317,900.
417,900. I'm sorry. So if you look, and all the notes that are in here are the notes that I put in as I go over it with River City. So this covers the steel. I think the steel is pretty self-explanatory. It's $118,500. Joist and decking, $183,400. And as you see here, materials only. And then the erection is what they refer to as the labor, $116,000. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you go around and look at the site, there's a lot of steel, continues to be a lot of steel, and the labor to put that up. And what's probably impressive about what you were handed out this morning is on page, I guess it would be page 3, safety incidents. It's been a very safe site, which I think is something to note for all the people who are involved, that they're paying attention and they're
Yeah,
doing what they
especially
need
since
to
there's
do.
some height, a lot of height work to be done, so.
Moving on, IBC carpentry, 3,500, 31,500, or 3,150 is all there is, and this is DFH. I always try to define things. It's number 11, doors, frames, and hardware, in case you were going to ask, and I figured somebody would. That's all there is for this go around. Holly Jail, they're the group that's putting together the modular cells that will basically stack on top of each other, and when you see it, it'll be pretty neat because they have all the utilities and everything already built in. They just put them in, stack them, and then they attach everything, and everything's attached to the back of each of the cells. And when you see it, it's actually a pretty amazing thing to see for those cells. So their total 101,026 and 86 cents, and it's probably tough to read what my writing is, but 51,088 and 86 cents is for work completed, $49,938 is for stored materials. So the retainage, with the retainage is $99,2417. So if you look on their invoice and sort of what I have here, we'll start with number 15, which is for the work completed, detention furniture and equipment material. It's in reference to toilet paper holders and beds, jail specialty items, is the way it was described. And then under 9, for the stored materials, security, ceilings and material, there's invoices that are attached, and the overhead and profit related to that is the 6,500, so that's where the 49,938 comes in, and then it's broken down on the bottom as well, bottom of that page. Additionally, 25, 26, 29, 31, also with Polyjail, the security specialty equipment for the jail, the engineering, 2,450, project management is the 2,835, and then software programming and the software itself, if you see the note there, it's the security electronic equipment specific to the Coffee County Jail facility that's referencing, and those are the things that are included in this payout, if that makes any sense. So the program itself and the software design for that program is specifically designed to meet the needs of this particular jail and this jail facility, because every jail is unique. And once you get on the inside and you actually see how that software works and what that looks like, and how whoever's in the command center can press a button and open each individual door or close a door throughout the entire facility, you'll see why that's important, and that'll be something you'll see at the back end, because you can't really visualize that right now. And then moving on, engineering submittals, project management, journal conditions, that's where you get that 101,026, 86. And then here, I'll flip it back around, are some of the specific invoices that go with Polyjail. Titan steel door, $43,401 for Titan steel ceiling wall channels, wall channel clips, access panels, so on and so forth. And one of the important components of the jail when you talk about a ceiling is, if you saw it, I don't remember exactly where it was, you had a jailbreak somewhere, and they ended up in the ductwork, if I remember right, and then they escaped. A lot of what's put in place here is a mesh and something that is there so you're not getting out. But you have to do it the right way to begin with, and a lot of what Paula Jail does, that's their specialty, is jails. That's the best way I can describe that. Moving on to one that you probably haven't seen before, this is Conley Sprinkler. Conley Sprinkler 24,935 with the retainage 22,441. They're just now getting, this is their first pay app, and you'll see for everybody who submits a pay app, for example, Conley, this is pay app number 1 for them.
See, they're out of Kansas, Pleasanton.
Yep. So this is for their bonds and design layout, and this will be for the sprinkler system for the jail and for the facility in case something happens. And if you can imagine, there's quite a grid that goes with that. Next one, McElroy's, and just like I said, this is their pay app number 5, so each one that you see will have a corresponding pay app number. Some of them will be higher than others. So for McElroy's, their total, if you can read my writing again, 146,230, 58,500 for work completed, 87,730 for stored materials, 10%, 131,607. And then this goes through, and I've broken it down the best I can to try to explain to you. 10,000 of it, plumbing fixtures, and those are toilet sleeves, 12 RTUs, split HW coils, VFDs, 87,730, and at the very bottom, because I figured somebody would ask what all that means, RTUs, rooftop unit, that's not what applicable here. Splits are the air conditioning splits, HW coils, hot water coils, VFDs, variable frequency devices. The only one that's applicable here are the splits, the air conditioning splits. There's 18 of them, and that's where this stored material total comes from. 13 sheet metal materials, those are the masonry sleeves. 2,500 plumbing above grade material, copper, sheet metal labor, plumbing above grade labor. That all constitutes what this pay app for McElroy's is about. And then that totals the 146,230. Shelley Electric, as we saw, pay app number 5. Again, we have work completed, 16,470, 755. Stored material, 62,000 for a total of 78,477. Payment due, 76,29, 75. 13 fire alarm subcontractor, that's going to be the bill you're going to see, and that's for stored materials, and that is for fire alarm equipment. And then 27, 29, 31, and 33 are the work completed. This pay period for power, material, and labor, and low voltage material and labor, conduit to the boxes is what it was described as. So each time Shelley has a pay app, we have to go through, and the number is a rolling, continuing number. They're the only one that does that, so we have to go back and recalculate and make sure that all adds up. So the 62,000 in this stored material column is the only one that applies for the pay period, so that's subtracted and removed from the rest of this to come up with that figure, if that makes sense. So the rest of this should all be related to the stored materials and invoices. So this is the Siemens stored material for, see, the 62,000. see some pictures here momentarily.
Yay, pictures.
Everybody loves a picture, right? So it's just the invoices that go with these stored materials.
Proof that they got something in the boxes in some type of warehouse with our name on it.
Yeah. And there's no way for it to be stored here, so it has to be.
Right. Don't have any choice. Fancy, it says Crawford County.
Mm-hmm.
And coffee spilled right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, coffee gets spilled quite often.
People like their coffee.
So I know it's a pain of an exercise to go through every single page, but I think it's important, especially when you're talking that kind of payment going out the door.
You're going above and beyond and trying to display to everybody that, you know, what's going on here with the money for this project, and I appreciate it, so.
But on that second page, general requirements, there's 81 or 82,000 there, and I'm sure it's added in
I'm not sure where you are.
on the second.
Second page, first column, or first section.
Yeah. Being 76, there's 81 or 2,000 there, and I haven't had time to add everything up, but I would say that's probably added in. Yeah, I bet it's added into that 995,000. Is that, and the stored material adds up to the 1,195,000, then you take 10% off that, get down to the, what the voucher's written for. I don't know whether that's 70,
In the very
81 or 82,000 is added in or not.
in the very right-hand column, you've got the retainage that goes with everything too. So.
Yeah.
Very well.
Looks good to me.
So that's that one, and you should have motions, and first motion would be for the pay app number 8.
Motion to approve application and certify for payment application number 8 for period ending 7/31/24 submitted by River City Construction LLC in the amount of $1,075,806.00 for work completed reference to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center project. Funds to come from the Jail Construction Project Fund, number 111.
I so move.
I'll say that.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by me. Any discussion other than what we've already had? All in favor say aye. Aye, motion passes.
You think that, maybe I should have went back to that 80,000 was added into that?
I believe, as far as I know, we can look at that.
It's not mentioning anything that you went over. And it's probably added into that total.
I'm certain the numbers match up, but maybe once we're done with this, we can go back over it and take a look. Because I probably need to sit down next to you and look at it. I probably need to sit down next to you and look at it so you could show me what you're looking at, and then I don't think right now I can do that efficiently. Change order number 13, which is up on the screen. We can get these to Don so we can look at them that way. the top one's 13, the next one's 14, the one after that is 15. So change order number 13, it's a request related to ductwork. And it's a change order in the amount of $12,195. And that's to add ductwork per RFI 1 and ASI 005, which are how do I best describe that? So within the design, it was an area that did not, my understanding is it did not show exactly what was needed in the way where all this exhaust duct work was known until they got into it a little further. I don't know how to best describe that because it's a specific area. Sheriff and I extensively questioned about it, and it's duct work that's necessary within the jail.
It said they added some grills or something there, didn't it? But,
Yes,
yeah.
it's specific to the jail side.
For basically a security issue, I would assume that.
So, louver, LU2 and associated ductwork was hidden in the model, not properly shown on plan drawing MH1.11. The louver was shown in the louver schedule on sheet M602, and these are all in the designs. So it wasn't included because it was not shown in a way where it was included when they bid on it.
Not enough
I don't know how
detail on it, looks like basically what they're saying, and that
And
graphically wasn't detailed enough.
so if we go down here are the these are all the designs that apply to that.
Pretty hard to read out, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to miss something.
I'm sure it's a lot bigger than that on their bid sheet, but. I can see Macro always missing that because, like I said,
All that stuff's overlapping, looks like to me on the
detail
drawing.
that you'd think,
Well, so
you know, Cole or Ryan or anything, but he should catch that too.
So what my understanding is that these specific details, you had to move over to a embedded link of some sort that would then overlay it, and somehow that function was not applied or something, so they didn't know it was there, I guess is the best way to describe it. So that's what this whole change order is about. And it's 19 pages. If anybody wants to come, request it. Go through it and analyze it. Feel free. So that's 13. I'm just going to go through all three of them before you entertain a motion, if that's okay. So just moving on to 14. 14 is change order $10,548, change order number 14. This one is in reference to electrical changes. And reference ASI 7, you'll see ASI 7. This is something from Shelley Electric. Light switching duplex receptacles for GFCI, 13 faucet valves, install transformer, provided and install an additional 120 volt circuit, and then the bond that goes with that, and it details the billing, materials, all of that goes with it. Resin house, which is where a lot of their materials come from. And it's electrical modification, so Trova, these are the drawings, add switch, and it specifies what rooms that goes to. So on page 9 of 16, electrical second floor lighting, adding switches to different rooms, revising switches, ground floor, revised key notes, 132124, adding a receptacle, changing a circuit for toilet flush valve in restroom 159, and it gets down into the details. Second floor, roof power plan, and then it has the breakdown related to what those changes are in the drawings. Where the rooms are, what receptacles for each room, all the details that go with it. The bubble areas are the areas that are being that we're dealing with through this change order. So it's not the entire thing, it's just in specific areas. So if you want to take that home and look at it, study it, feel free. Or anybody. Then the last one is 15, and this one is $7,956 change order number 15, and this is due to adding thickened footings under walls on grid 12 and 14, and that's on the jail side, and that's after an evaluation that determined that additional footings were needed in reference to the structural integrity of that part of the...
That's actually a deduction, right?
No, this should be a...
It says on our change order. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong, sorry.
I was gonna say it.
No, it is, it says it's gonna be deducted from the
Contingency.
contingency.
It's kind of misleading, that word
Yeah.
that word
Yeah.
deduction is in all three of it, it's misleading.
Yep. So this is really what it's all about. This is concrete unlimited excavation, time, and then the rebar and concrete related to that. And that's it. So those are the three change orders, and I don't know if you have any questions.
This is what they've got on this deal. A lot of stuff to go over, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was reading it as a deduction too, and looked at the wording.
Okay, motion number 2, move for the board to approve for the chairman to sign change order number 14 regarding construction related to Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as approved by River City Construction on July 23rd with costs associated with potential change order number 14, which includes contract documents, revisions associated with ASI 7, including additional costs associated with the following: electrical changes in ASI 7, which includes revised light switching, replace 4 duplex receptacles for GFIC, adding 1 GFIC additional of 13 LAV faucet valves, plus installation to transformers, providing and installing of additional 120 volt circuit, and adding bond with $10,540 to be deducted from the construction contingency with no change in the project guaranteed maximum price, $25,712,885.00. Ugh. I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Knight, second by McCurry. Any further discussion on this changing to 14?
I think you read number 13.
He read
I mean, it said 13, but it read 14.
Oh, my bad.
You
read
read
14,
14,
you read
so we can
14.
do 14.
Yeah.
I thought I heard you say 14.
Yeah,
You just
you read
said
14.
13.
Yeah, he read the 14 motion.
Okay, so 14, change order number 14.
So this is what we're approving, is change order number 14, not 13.
Correct.
We already approved 13.
No,
No.
we haven't.
No, we haven't.
We haven't done 13
I just
yet.
put that in,
Oh,
cause
crud, okay. Okay, sorry, 4 hours of sleep.
We can still do
Going down
14.
the road.
Still do 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
who seconded on that?
McCurry, Knight moved, McCurry seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. Okay. Slap me around here. Alright, we're gonna bounce up to 13, okay. Motion for the board to approve and for the chairman to sign change order number 13 regarding construction related to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as provided by River City Construction on July 23rd, 2024, with the costs associated with potential change order 005, which includes contract documents, revisions associated with RFI 1 and ASI 005, including additional costs associated with the following: adding exhaust ductwork, adding in RFI 1 and ASI 005, with $12,195 to be deducted from the project construction contingency, with no change to the project guaranteed maximum payment of $25,712,885.00.
So move.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by Meeks. Any discussion on change order 13? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
14, so now we're gonna flip down to 15. Motion for the board to approve and for the chairman to sign change order number 15 regarding construction related to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as provided by River City Construction on August 1st, with the costs associated with potential change order 015, which includes contract documents, revisions associated with RFI 60, including additional costs associated with the following addition of thickened footings under walls on grid 12 and 14, with a $7,956 to be deducted from the project construction contingency, with no change to the project guaranteed maximum price, $25,712,885.
I'll second that.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion of change order 15? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. We got it all. We got time to bounce around.
Yep. They're covered.
And if you look at your handout, I don't know if it's on page 4 or 5, I can't keep track, but there's a potential change order log, and it goes all the way up to, looks like 33 right now. So they're being worked on behind the scenes, and some of those end up being added to others. So don't be confused with the potential change orders, because our change orders and their potential change orders are two different things.
Okay. Okay.
All right, moving on to the next thing. Let's see. Pass the question. And then, Don, you have the originals for the change orders that Jesse will need to sign. That I handed you.
Jesse needs all these,
Yep.
these three.
Yep.
Perfect.
13, 14,
Got that in there.
Yep.
Go back and I'll just mess them up.
Just put 14 first.
Yeah, put 14 to, like,
There's another packet.
That'd be okay.
Does he need this? You don't need this, he's already got it.
So what I'm handing out,
There's another set.
is two different packets of information. They're both dated the same thing. They both relate to the same subject matter. That subject matter, if you recall, I gave you the statute here last week or the week before, related to disaster relief determinations under KSA 79-1613. So moving behind the scenes for a period of time now has been the evaluation of two separate applications for disaster relief, and in essence what that means is if somebody qualifies, then they're entitled to either an abatement or a credit of related to the ownership and their property taxes is what it ties to. So I got the information, and then I had to pass it on and go to the appraiser's office to get additional information. And within the packet, you have my evaluation and my interpretation, as well as the application from the individual, and then the assessment by the appraiser's office, and all of that is included within each document. So two different properties almost around the same time in 2023, July of 23, that were destroyed because of a fire. So one of them, and each of them have pictures associated with it. For action to be taken by the board, certain findings have to be made, and on the cover and the letter that I have provided for each of those, there's sort of a legal analysis the board has to go through related to KSA 79-1613, and I'll just read what it says if you're okay with that. This is the first time since I've been here that they've made it past the stage where they actually, in my opinion, qualify. There have been others where they haven't qualified because the wording of the statute at that time, post-COVID, the statute was amended to pull a lot more property into it. So, KSA 79-1613 allows the Board of County Commissioners to abate all or part of taxes for a homestead building or improvement destroyed or substantially destroyed due to an earthquake, flood, tornado, or fire after January 1st but prior to August 15th of a calendar year. The statute also allows the board to grant a tax credit against property taxes payable during any or all of the next succeeding 3 taxable years for a homestead building or improvement destroyed or substantially destroyed due to an earthquake, flood, tornado, or fire on or after August 15th, but prior to January 1st of the next succeeding year, or if the property taxes have been already paid. When an application is made for property tax relief, abatement, or credit, PSA 79-1613 is reviewed and analyzed. The attached application and supporting documents are provided to you so that the board may make the necessary findings and a decision related to the applicant's request for a disaster relief determination. Under 79-1613, the following questions are required to be answered before a determination can be made by the board. 1, was the property destroyed or substantially destroyed by a homestead as defined by subsection A2, or was the property destroyed or substantially destroyed a building or improvement? Was the homestead, question 2, was the homestead building or improvement destroyed or substantially destroyed as defined by KSA 79-1613A1? Was the damage, disaster the result of an earthquake, flood, tornado, fire, storm, or other event or occurrence which the governor of the state of Kansas has declared a disaster? Was the applicant the owner of the property at the time of the damage or disaster? Was, question 5, was the property destroyed after January 1st but prior to August 15th, or on or after August 15th but prior to January 1st of the next year? Was 6, was an application made on or before December 20th of the year next succeeding the year such taxes have been assessed? 7, was an appraisal provided by the county appraiser providing the assessed valuation of the homestead building or improvement provided above? So then, directly below that, those questions are answered. And ultimately, for the 2 applicants, the recommendation is for both either an abatement or credit. So one of the properties is 115 North 6th Street, New Strong. That is for there's a valid application. You'll see that attached to the document. They also provided a deed that provides ownership. There's multiple pictures of that property immediately, or also attached, that basically shows what used to be a building or a house there. Behind that, there's a property record card and the documentation that goes with that. Directly behind that is a valuation notice, and then directly behind that is the documents prepared by the appraiser's office, specifically the deputy county appraiser that goes through and analyzes the property value, days before disaster, days after disaster, total real estate taxes for that calendar year. Also included is the real estate tax statement for calendar year 2023. Immediately following that is the assessment calculation breakdown provided by the appraiser's office for that particular property in 2023. Immediately following that is the calculation of the days, and that's through actually an app that I use quite a bit that shows the distance, the time between 2 dates.
So that's done on a percentage?
Yes.
So those two numbers represent what the credit would be.
Yep, so the very last page, Exhibit A, is basically the final conclusion, the breakdown, I guess what it would be. So on that particular property, it's almost a dead even based on valuation of the house, everything that goes with it. The recommendation by the appraiser's office is the 627.70.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Something that hasn't been done to my knowledge here?
I think we just waived landfills here not too long ago for the New Strong resident. to be demolished and hauled off. I remember the picture and the name, but I would be in favor of just doing a pay and be done with it personally.
Oh, instead of a credit.
Well, either abatement or credit,
Well, I think if they've already paid their taxes, then it's a credit and it's to be distributed over the next 3 years, if I remember correctly.
Whatever the procedure is,
Yeah.
So the credits, so the credit won't be done
If,
the next year, it's gotta be distributed over 3 years.
if such property taxes have been paid or partially paid, credit against the property taxes payable by the owner during any or all of the next succeeding 3 taxable years, I believe is.
Okay, so it'd be a credit then.
Okay.
Yeah, if they've already paid it, it would
If
be an
they've already
abatement if
paid
they hadn't, but I think a credit if they had. And it looks like, from what I can tell, they have. So that would be for that property, and that's for, Mr. and Mrs. Foster.
Yes.
So the other one I gave you is for property located at 590 16th Road, and that would be the one that relates to Huguenin. And fortunately, for today's purposes, Commissioner Huguenin's not here because it's actually his property. And there's an application.
It's definitely a total loss also.
It is for a fact.
Yeah, so you see the pictures that are attached, and I'm not gonna go back through and review and read through everything that goes with it, but the pictures show basically what once was a structure somewhere out near, I believe it's, Hartford,
Yeah, Jacob Street
or
area.
Jacob Street, yeah.
So it's, because of the dates, it's only gonna be a 42% versus the 50% on the
So-
other one, is that correct?
Good point. So the first one we talked about, the date of loss was July. I want to make sure I don't confuse the two. July 3rd of 23.
Uh-huh,
So that's almost smack dab in the middle of the year.
yeah,
On this property, it was July 30th
yeah.
of 23.
So the percentages are gonna be less
Yep.
and you're gonna.
So you'll see the very last sheet prepared by the appraiser's office is 42%.
That's what I was
Because
looking at.
it's moving, shifting more towards the back end of the year. So I want to leave these with you so you have them. And it took a little while to put all this stuff together so you can have it. I hope there's not many of these that come across, because if they do, that means somebody had something destroyed by some catastrophic event, whether it be a tornado, in these instances, a fire. I don't see an earthquake being something that destroys something here, but I guess there have been some
Behind John
tremors at
Redmond when
least.
it come through.
50% estimated damage or loss, does that qualify for this, or it's gotta be 100% loss?
It's the timing is what the percentage is. How
Yeah,
much is
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I realize that, but the percentage of loss.
So question number one, was the property destroyed or substantially destroyed as required or as defined under the statute? So I don't have it here, but you could look at the statute. I
I
think I
gotta
left
look
it
the
for you.
word substantial, man.
It has a If I recall correctly, it defines what destroyed or substantially destroyed means.
Probably so many walls standing or not standing or something, I'm sure there's criteria that's gotta fall in there.
So what I'm trying to evaluate and why I want to take this to you and then determine whether a motion or a resolution is, I know some counties do a resolution,
Yes.
and I'm not sure if other counties do a motion.
I don't think we'd have to have a motion.
We'd have to have the motion for the resolution. So I want you to have this so you can look through it and make sure you understand it, you know what you're looking at, so that when you make a decision, because these are the first two that have made it to you.
Okay.
Not saying there's probably more out there that could have made it here, but with the changing of the statutes and people not knowing about this way to get a little money back from a loss of a fire, or tornado, or earthquake, flood, there could potentially be more of them come through.
Yeah, they've got a property that they paid taxes on that literally is gone and they had no use from, so it makes sense.
Initially, the way that the applications that didn't make it to you got ruled out is it was not their homestead. So somebody inherited property, and they fit all the other criteria, but they did not, it wasn't their homestead. And that wording was modified post-COVID, or somewhere in the area where COVID came through, so.
We'll act on this in another day.
Yep, next week, I just want to make sure that if you have this, you could look at it, and then I don't want to throw you off and have you make a haphazard
Right.
decision, but I think everything you need is contained within
Okay.
what you were provided.
Program to help them out as much as you possibly can, I guess.
Yeah. So you know the figures, now you have the analysis, you know what it looks like, so now
Okay.
if somebody asks you what that procedure's like, then you have something to rely back on.
So if we did the resolution, if we were doing the resolution, we ought to just have to stand it the way.
But would be, so what I've seen in other counties is they do it for each individual.
Oh,
That's what I wondered, whether it
For each
was every
individual.
time.
I'm not sure that's, if you had a bunch of these, you'd have a bunch of resolutions. That's what I need to double check. I think the findings are what's needed. That's what's required by the statute. So whether those findings are in a resolution or in a motion, I think as long as there's a trail to go with it, and then whatever you do will then have to go to the appraiser in the treasurer's office to deal with that, the backside of it. So then the last thing I have, which is everybody's favorite thing, including mine, is a 10-minute executive session under the attorney-client exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. It's to provide legal advice and an update to the board regarding ongoing county litigation.
Motion to go into executive session for 10 minutes, the board and county councilor Wade Bowie for ongoing litigation. I'll move.
For 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes.
I'll second.
Moved by Knight, second by McCurry. Any discussion? We'll enter at 12:03 for 10 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Oh, it's right there in the front.
Trying to keep all these together. You want this or?
And we lost one for a bathroom break. So I can go ahead and sign these checks then.
Yep.
Okay, Wade's back.
How about that?
No action taken on last executive session.
No action taken.
Got any more roundtable?
Put on round table for 1 day.
Mr. McCurry, got any roundtable?
No, the only question I have is on the property up north. Does Wade need to go ahead and, I mean, how does that proceed, if we proceed with that? Would Wade be the one then to,
Facilitate a contract, probably, I mean, or...
So there has been a potential agreement going back and forth between their attorney and me at one point in time, and then I think ultimately they decided, they being SSM, that they didn't want to go forward with the back and forth negotiation,
Right.
what the county had countered with. So I have a document that I can easily revise to reflect. It has all of the terms and conditions outside of, under the prior arrangement, it would have been the county footing the bill for utilities, everything except for, what was it? The pool maintenance. The county was going to foot the bill for the pool maintenance, and there was something else, but the county was going to pay for all the utilities, and then they would have been responsible for lawn care and snow removal. So it just changes that around structurally, just in a little bit of a different way. The only thing, if I recall correctly, that would need to be put in place or just removed altogether and deal with at a later date and time is, which was included in the original version, is right of first refusal and what a anticipated purchase price would be that they have, that they would have had the right of first refusal for whatever that price would be. So if I understood correctly, that is something that they would would potentially want in this particular agreement, then I think you need to decide whether it's the property as it currently is situated without the body of water, or whether it needs to be added to it and deal with it as one whole, and that I don't know. Then number 3 would be, does this include the shop, or is it removing the shop? And if it removes the shop, what value does that have to the county? Because,
As far as the purchase?
well, the rental agreement.
Oh.
Because there had been talk if it's only gonna be the house, if it's gonna be the house and the shop, and those things.
But if they're going to take care of that property as a whole, would the shop not be included? I mean, that's part-
It's included in the acreage that
I mean,
is,
that's part of the agreement. I
I
would assume that they would,
would.
that they would.
And my thought would be that we would want to include the lake, because if we're going for an appraised value, that's gonna make that property
And
more valuable.
I think so too. I think that body of water really needs to be included in that.
Yeah, to get a fair
To get a-
value of the
yeah.
capability of that property. Just
But-
my thought, not saying that's how it has to be,
Well, yeah,
just my
and-
thought.
probably the biggest hurdle to cross is the lagoon.
Yeah,
Because right now, on the
Yeah.
property, I believe the property line is south of the lagoon. It would be on county property, which is okay. It can be on the county property if we, with an agreement between a new landowner and the county for the
About the
adjacent
lagoon.
land about the lagoon. But
yeah,
I would,
either we do that or we build a new one. one
or
the
we build
other.
a new one, and if you're gonna build a new one, yeah, I mean, that's more money out of our pocket.
Right.
So, I would maybe address that and have an agreement between the county and if there is a potential new landowner, that it is okay for it to be on our property for a period of whatever.
Yeah.
So, I think it can be on another property, you have to have an agreement, but if it's up against a fence, I know you have to have an agreement with the adjacent landowner.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it can actually be on your property, but that's a hurdle we can cross later down the road, or somebody can cross.
so that wouldn't be
No.
huge either way.
I mean, if I'm a landowner and a lagoon's on my property that belongs to another person, does that open up me for exposed liability?
Well, that's why I think the agreement between the property owner and the adjacent landowner is to have an agreement that is set in stone, that you are the landowner, the homeowner is liable for anything on that.
Yeah, I would think,
I would think there'd be something that, I don't know.
it's not very expensive to build another.
It's not.
That might be the best option. Then that would clean up an issue for later on.
That was the only thing I had, I would just, because I really think it's something that, if we can get those folks in.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Since they're gonna be here next week, I was gonna, based on the conversation, put something together, at least a draft of it, and have it ready to take a look at.
Pretty good, yeah. I would say if you get it done halfway around, send it to Bartson or send it to them so they can be looking at it. That way they might wanna act on it next week. Cause they are, I'm assuming they are on a time crunch.
So the value is gonna be the tough part, unless it just says the current within the agreement for the first, right of first refusal, the current, or you want assessed value, or?
Why couldn't you just put in there the value to be assessed at a later date?
We at least wanna have something that
For an
says
appraisal.
what value you're gonna be going off of, so at the time that comes up, is it gonna be the assessed value based on county records, or the current value to be determined based on, current market value?
I would think, current appraisal is gonna more reflect the value of that property if an industrial park's in the backyard. I mean, that's gonna be a factor too, as to the value of that property.
But also the property does not include the lake. I mean, it's already been mapped out. So the current appraisal just has the mapping of the property as it is without the lake. And so you change your property lines, that's gonna.
Yeah, we would need to have it reappraised, is what I would think.
Have to have it redrawn and reappraised.
I'll put some proposed wording in there. So you can see.
See if it sticks. So you got Mr. McCurry? Yes, sir. Mr. Meeks? Any good stuff? Mr. Thompson?
I'm good.
Angie?
Yeah, I have a couple things. So we had, Road and Bridge, are interested in having a county auction this fall. And so they reached out to some other departments, and they're also interested in having a county auction. So I just want to check with you guys, see if you're okay with me going ahead and doing our normal process of starting the bidding, or getting an auctioneer, and then getting all the items that's going to be sold at auction. And they're looking at mid to late October.
Great.
If that works for you guys.
That'd be a good time before it gets cold.
Okay, so I'll start on that right away. I told them, we gotta get started now if we're gonna do it, because we're already coming up against the line, so.
They're wanting to have an actual on-site auctioneer
Yes.
come in and not
Yeah.
do, like,
And it's
purple
been
wave or whatever.
2 years since we've had one, so it's,
I think you kinda need an on-site auction every so
Yeah.
often to get rid of all the small stuff.
and we
Okay.
usually do have one every couple years. I don't know
Okay.
how it's made.
Right, it's been a while.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that, every year after OK Kids, we usually have the employee appreciation picnic on that following Monday, the 9th of September, in this case this year. So my question was, do you want to follow that same timeline of doing the employee appreciation picnic, where they do hamburgers and hot dogs, or what would you like to do?
That's what you've been doing. That's what my opinion.
Seems to be well accepted, so I see no reason to change it
Okay.
myself, so.
Well, I need to probably go ahead and get stuff going on that too, because we're,
That's okay, kids.
Be here.
it is the 6th through the 8th.
6 to 8.
Here,
of
but-
September, yeah. So we've just got plenty of time to get everything going, but I mean, I'm up against that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know.
The time's going so
Yes,
fast.
so we gotta keep going now, so. And then, next Monday, of course, is the canvass of the election.
Mhm.
So everything went pretty well. I mean, a few little things that happened, but it happens every election, nothing major, so.
Right.
That's it.
When do we have to have the budget finalized?
The 26th is when the budget hearing is, on the 26th for both county and fire.
So we gotta make a decision next week,
I did.
next Monday, on what to do with the
She
budget.
had it yesterday morning about 9:30. Everybody's good. Everybody's
That's all I have.
good.
I don't know what, thank you, I don't know what to do with the budget, gentlemen, but, you know, last year,
Yeah,
we didn't raise,
Job
we
is
did not raise the mill levy. The state come in and raised the valuation, which was out of our control. Because the year before that, we didn't raise the evaluation that was set down from the higher ups, which were all your surrounding counties. I think Lyon County went up 14 or 16%. We only went up like 7, something like that. And then the state come in and said, you need to raise it even more. Is that right, Steve?
That's correct.
So,
And we have no other choice than to
Yeah.
do that.
we don't want the state to take over evaluation.
We don't want the state to become involved.
That's my recollection of what Connie said, was the state came and said, either you guys do it, or we'll come do it,
Yeah,
and you
we'll
really
do it.
won't like it then, you know?
And that's correct.
Wasn't our goal.
I know the burden on the taxpayer, you know, of the county. I own properties within the county, and several acres of land and, I don't like to pay higher taxes as anybody else. And
But we brought it down from 63, Angie, we're at 67.9 right now.
Yeah, it started out at
61.
63.
63.
You got it down to 61. And
And
then after more changes with road and bridge and then that other solid waste closure care, now you have it down to 57.9. Last year it was 57.1.
So 8/10.
We're about 8/10 higher than we was a year ago if we stay at that level.
That's not,
And that was
So
about
that-
$500,000
Yeah.
to get that back to there, is that right?
Well, yeah, well, from the 63 or from the?
No, from where we're at now, to get it
Yeah,
the rest of the way
yeah,
down.
it'd be about at 600,000.
Okay.
I did visit with Angie. It can be found, I think, but depending on the evaluation of the Wolf Creek once again, that comes around that can knock us way back. I don't want to set us up for failure, but I also don't want to tax the residents of Coffee County any more than we have to.
Right.
But I think a lot of them, if they watch the meeting or read the paper and know where we started out at and where we're at now, would understand that there is trial, and it was good of Ryan to come in and to knock some of his substantial amount of his 1.5 million, I think.
it was.
So, something to be thinking on for next week.
Yeah, hopefully that one will be catch up next year.
Well,
the year
there's
after,
gonna-
but there's gonna be
There's
some.
gonna be a time we're going, I mean,
Right.
I might
right.
not, but
Well, they're just, the fact is that everything the county buys is inflated, just like everybody else, so nobody wants to pay more taxes, but it's gonna take more dollars to provide the same service.
Same services.
We can't, it's just unavoidable, but nobody hates it any worse than I do.
unless we wanna start tearing up paved roads and put them back to gravel,
Right,
that's gonna save money.
and that costs to blade them too, so.
But we started out with $3.5, $4 million. And we're down, within 500,000 of last year. I visited with Angie last Thursday or Friday or whenever, and right now, I don't see of any place we can really probably cut anymore. And I think Angie feels the same way, and I don't want to speak for Angie. But we've moved it down $3.5, $4 million, got it within 500,000. And the citizens should understand that, we just can't knock it all the way down, because we don't know what the Wolf Creek's gonna do with them paying 83.5% of our tax base, and it's great that we cut them out there. Their budget, or their valuation went down 40 million a year ago. The state, we have no control over that. The state controls that. And this year, it did go back up 7 or 11, I forget exactly what it was. And it seems like past history, when it starts back up, it'll do that for 2 or 3 years, but there's absolutely no guarantee on that. So, myself, I think I'm in a position where I could probably go ahead with that mill levy that we came back down, which is 57.9. That's where my position is right now.
Okay.
Well, something to think about that we gotta get
Yeah,
done,
gotta get it done.
either keep it where 17 or 57.9, or take it back with no increase at all and take it out of the general budget. So, which could be trouble.
Yeah, I'd be hesitant doing that.
Just a topic for discussion.
Right.
I don't think I have any roundtable other than what I've already said. I do, but I think I'll save it for another day. What was checks and vouchers?
Wednesday, the 28th.
Wednesday the 28th, okay. We've got a zoning meeting, special meeting this Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock at the room downstairs to discuss the roads,
Yeah.
minimum maintenance roads. So I will be present for that in Tom Hugoton's place. So, other than that, if nobody else has anything, we'll adjourn at 12:35. Have a good day.